Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Cardboard Cave podcast. It's been a while since I've been here, so hi, I'm Alejandro, and we have our panel of experts. So we're gonna start with Chris.
Hey, how you guys doing? How you
What's
doing,
up?
Orengo? How's
I'm
the week been, my
I'm
dude?
good. I'm good. I haven't been here in a while, but I'm glad I'm here for this specific episode because it's all about the Brothers War. It's all about Urza, and this set gave me 1,075,000 Urzas, and I want all the Urzas to Urza me hard. But then we have someone else to talk about other people that aren't Urza, it's like Mishra and Ashnod and those weaklings. JP,
Someone
hi,
said Ashnod?
yeah,
Okay.
Yes.
Hey,
the weak Urza, yes.
Ooh, how
we're
dare
gonna
you?
when we get to
How
that
dare
Ashnod,
you?
I'm gonna have some words.
I know.
Uh,
But yeah, we're gonna be talking about like spoiler season because you guys only talked briefly about the first few cards that were
yeah,
spoiled a
but
few like a month
everything's
ago.
just blown out of
Yeah,
proportion since Thursday. It's just
exactly.
so many
Yeah,
cards.
like
So much
the
content.
the like the hype and the everything in the set just went up in just 1 week
Yep,
in a way that's just been insane.
it's been crazy.
They
That's for
wanted
We,
to
sure.
we
just
I feel
save
like
it
we
for
start
like
off pretty strong even.
Hmm.
they wanted to save it for like the magic 30th anniversary, and then they just like saved too much for it.
Yes. Can we talk about the disaster that was the Magic 30th? Because there was
Oh,
some
okay.
great stuff there.
So
Man,
We
I
should
so
think
talk
for,
about
we've
it.
literally mentioned it for like 3 episodes straight, and I can never get enough about it.
Yeah,
Honestly.
yeah.
So
Go
from
ahead,
what I
JP.
like, I remember the only parts I know of
Hmm.
is that like the command zone area,
Yeah.
because well I'm pretty like active in the Reddit, and they try to like monetize sitting down to play commander, which is like do you not understand your audience,
Not at all. Clearly.
which like they're playing the most eternal of the eternal formats
Yeah.
in order to not pay
Yep.
more, because it's more you just stay longer, it's easier, it's fun, you get to,
Hmm.
get to be with people. And I saw the photo,
Yeah.
and the competitive scene, because you didn't have to pay to enter and just play.
Mm.
People were like, okay, so I have my commander deck, but then I have the modern deck. I can play modern for free, but I have to
Exactly.
pay to sit down to play commander. And they just went to the modern set. You could see like so many tables
Mm.
empty. I could barely see people, and then I realized, oh wait, that over there in the corner, that's where you saw some people in the photo.
Yeah.
It was
That's
crazy.
that's tragic. Well, there was another big deal that happened because a lot of people ordered so there was different tiers
Yes,
for getting into Magic 30th. There was like normal tier, but there was like a mythic tier, which
yes.
was given to to only like 350 people. It got sold out very quickly, that little ticket. It was like it was like $700. You get a bunch of goodies. But the thing that no one told them about was that when they got their box, they also had four little boosters, a very controversial set that's coming out soon by Wizards for free. So they got something that's worth $1,000 at a discount. And what everyone immediately did was they started selling those things off on site to get their money back. So, in an effort to try to appease people's concerns
What were they
regarding these,
selling?
they just sold the four boosters of the
The
Magic
Magic
30th
30
anniversary
boosters.
on site. People were like, "Whoa, you got that? Will you sell it?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can sell it for $750. Here you go, buddy. Oh, look at that! I just paid for my ticket and then some." And a lot of people did that. Other people just decided to open boosters. We can check later on YouTube. Some people opened it up. It's tragic, by the way. People were like, "Oh, let me just open it up to see what's happened." My God, if someone buys this, they will be so sad because like what you get inside is so tragically bad. Like I saw two videos, and only one of the two videos, one of them in one booster, they got one dual land. That's it. That was like the best pull, and like a mana vault. That was about it. But
Yeah,
everything
you have
else
a
was
fake
horrible.
dual land
Do
that
you,
you
And a
do
can
you
use
fake
in
think
mana
the
vault.
hype?
multiplayer.
Do you think the hype is just gonna make it like explode, and people are actually gonna like start buying into like Magic 30?
No, I think the problem was that
Just
probably
because a bunch
Wizards
of people
thought
getting FOMO, like
because I think Wizards thought that probably they were gonna get that reaction out of people, but people were even more
mm,
upset because instead of being more gracious and be like, it's Magic 30th. You went to the event. Let me give you a freebie to everyone. No, they just limited to like the people who could already pay for basically the thing itself. But they're like,
Exactly.
no, it's okay, rich people. You get to have it at a discount, and it's okay. Don't worry about it.
So
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 no,
so
it's horrible.
so Wizards decided to just say, yeah, this is normal life. This is
Yeah.
real life.
Yeah.
Rich people get a discount.
Exactly. Rich people get a discount. And then on top of that, to also promote Magic 30th anniversary, like the proxy set, they only gave it to a few select content creators on Twitter. And of those people, two of them are basically millionaires. One of them is like a freaking baseball player, and the other one's like a football player. Those were the people who
Cassius
got,
Marsh.
yes, those were the people who got like the set, and they weren't even expecting it. They were like, oh, that's cool. I got something from Wizards of the Coast. Cool, awesome, cardboard. Yeah. Oh,
So
Wizards.
many Magic celebrities. Like if you wanted to do that, there's
Yeah.
just so many celebrities that are into Magic.
So
Dude,
many
Danny
actual
Trejo would
content
have been an
creators,
amazing reveal.
right?
You know?
Even that would have been better, but no, let's just give it to like uber rich people for no reason
I
because
mean,
they
giving it
just
to
want to
Danny
hammer it.
Trejo is giving it to uber rich people, but
Fair
it's
enough,
still
but in
like,
comparison, but at least Danny Trejo does like ads and stuff for like Wizards, so I
Yeah.
guess that's acceptable because we know he's been in the scene. But you get to like randos who probably don't even play Magic since the 90s. It's like, come on, what the hell? Doesn't make any sense.
Cassius Marsh
it's like they're
plays.
just trying a bunch
Fair.
of random stuff to expand to like another market.
Yep. Yeah, they're gonna die soon. It's so sad. It's okay. I'll have my cardboard in hand. It's okay.
That you mean like they're just gonna get like milked dry by Hasbro?
Basically, at this point, it's getting to that point. I don't know. Like, yeah, Magic 30 was kind of a shit show. Yeah, it
I mean,
wasn't that good.
do you think that in the long term, Magic could just like these guys could just like intentionally slow things down so that it just becomes more sustainable, or is it just like I don't know? It's just gonna be like another Hasbro product, I guess.
I think they won't stop until we stop with our wallets. And
Yeah.
given the fact that the advent calendar got sold in 20 minutes, I don't think people are voting with their wallets very successfully.
I have a friend who bought 4 of them.
Whoa, that's insane. I was gonna buy one and then I
Ooh,
remembered about it,
ooh.
and I remembered because someone said, oh, it got sold out after 20 minutes. I'm like, well, maybe it's a sign. Maybe I shouldn't
Yeah.
spend money on it. Okay, it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But those 4 were in like
But-
an error.
Oh, it was an error? Oh, okay.
Yeah. But he
Oh
said, "Fuck
yeah, that was a fun thing. Everybody got emails about it. Apparently.
Oh, I didn't know that.
because he wanted 2, so he ordered 2.
Mhm.
Mhm.
You could order the quantity, and there was an error on the page and ended up being like double.
Yeah,
God.
charging him twice.
Yeah. So
Well, if your buddy is willing to sell one, I'd be
like
willing
he
to
already
buy
has
one.
people who to sell it.
I can imagine.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about something a little bit more positive, shall we? Like we got some spoilers, and we actually got some really really fun cardboard.
Yeah.
Let's go and add our MTG little goldfish over here. So last time we were here, the last guys we talked about were the Phyrexian Dragon Engine and Mishra Cling by Gix, which is really fun.
Yes. I never talked about Urza, so we're gonna talk briefly. Urza is amazing. I'm gonna make a deck out of it. That's all you need to know. That's it.
Heck yeah, give it a second. Oh no,
Is it gonna be a fun deck or like a
Oh no,
try-hard?
it's gonna be a try hard. It's 2 colors. It's basically a worse version of Grand Arbiter.
No,
but I don't care.
it's Baral. Oh no, you used
here
to
it
have a
is.
Baral deck.
Yes.
It's
So that's
literally Baral but artifacts.
with an extra color and with artifacts. So yeah, that's why I'm loving
Baral
this card.
usually already runs artifacts, so it's just like this is just extra sauce.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I love it so much. It's like, and I'll have the little Night Stone and Weak Stone because I want to do like Urza Planeswalker. That's for sure.
Yeah,
That's
hell
my
yeah.
goal. But if it doesn't
Just
happen,
good.
which
That's
is
the
probably won't.
win more goal. Let's go.
Oh, that's definitely gonna be the win. And considering the fact that this set in general has a lot of the Power Stone mechanics we're gonna be talking about, I think it's gonna make it even more feasible because the Power Stones don't count for effect. So I can just have a bunch of Power Stones, be ready to like tap them, so I can make the Urza big boy.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, let's talk about the other ones.
But
we
going
talked
into the
about
new
Mishra,
stuff,
right?
Yes,
Yes,
we did
yes,
talk
we
about
did.
But
this.
let's talk about the third meld card, which is very interesting.
Yes.
Argoth, Sanctum of Nature. JP, you want to take that one?
So Argoth, Sanctum of Nature. It's a land. Argoth, Sanctum of Nature enters the battlefield tapped unless you control a legendary green creature. You can tap it for green, or you can pay 2 green, so 4 mana, and tap it to create a 2/2 green bear creature token, then mill 3 cards. Activate only as a sorcery.
Mhm.
I'm getting a lot of
Melds
that
that
actually.
it melds with Titania, Voice of Gaia,
This is the
Mhm.
next one.
and might as well go for the next one, which is
Yeah.
Titania, Voice of Gaia.
Yeah.
1 green, legendary creature elemental. It has reach. It's a 3/4. Whenever one or more lands are put into your graveyard from anywhere, you gain 2 life. At the beginning of your upkeep, if there are 4 or more land cards in your graveyard, and you both own and control Titania, Voice of Gaia, and the land named Argoth, Sanctum of Nature, exile them, then meld them into Titania, Gaia Incarnate, which is
And let's go and
again,
wrap it off.
yeah,
Yep.
Titania, Gaia Incarnate, legendary creature elemental avatar. Its power and toughness. It's a star, so vigilance, reach, trample, haste. Titania, Gaia's Incarnate is power and toughness are each equal to the number of lands you control.
Yeah.
When Titania enters the battlefield, return all land cards from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. You can pay 3 and a green, put 4+1 counters on target land you control. It becomes a 0/0 elemental with haste. It's still a land.
It's very cool. Like it's out of the 3 meld cards, I think this is the easiest one to actually make it into a
Yeah.
commander
And here we
and
go again.
successfully meld too.
Yes.
That's for
So
sure.
I am kind of disappointed in one thing
Okay.
about this card.
Is
She
it that it
makes
doesn't
two.
have an extra color?
No. She
Oh,
makes 2/2 bears.
which is weird, right? I don't. Is there a
The
lore
reason
thing?
that bothers me is because of a card that got previewed later on,
Mm,
which makes another type of token, which would be a lot better for this type of deck.
yeah, I get you. That's
Well,
true.
I'll mention it. I'll mention it now. It makes there's a card that'll make basically a land token,
Yeah.
a creature land token. That would have been so much better. Imagine
All the
paying
dryads.
four.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dryads paying
Hmm.
4 mana to tap it, make a 1/1 dryad.
Yeah.
That would have been perfect.
That would have been great. Yeah. I I like the Titania card. It's cool. It's like I said, the most feasible in terms of commander because you can it's already on green, so you get to just fetch up the land, use summon Titania. You're gonna be milling because it's gonna be part of your strategy. And then, like in a turn or two, you'll get the Gaia incarnate and just have a bunch of like lands that swing for damage. It's pretty cool. It's weird, like I said, the bear thing. And like you said, it would have been better to be dryads as opposed to bears. Again, bear must be like a lore thing because I'm not understanding why it's not dryads
It could
specifically.
literally be anything in Argoth. I mean, that's kind of the whole point.
Oh,
Like
but then
our
what?
dryads would, I feel, would be much more flavorful than the bears.
Right,
You know,
exactly.
like
Or if you're gonna go with the idea that, like you said, it's like the voice of the animals, it could have just been like a morph creature that it can just be any typing. Then if you're
it's supposed to
going
be the
that,
sanctum of nature. Like they could have
sure.
gone with like a shapeshifter or like a changeling, something that just
There we
has
go.
all
That's the
creature
word. That's
types,
the
or
one that you
just
need.
go
Exactly.
with like I don't know, maybe creating different tokens, not just a
Yeah.
bear. I guess I
That's
don't know.
true. That's true. Yeah. That would have been a cool idea if you're going by that. Yeah,
Or at
because it's just
worst,
weird.
instead
I
of
I
making
think
them
that
2/2 bears, you could have made them
Mhm.
yeah,
elementals.
True. But then it
Just
would
mhm.
for
have
the
probably
flavor.
synergized even. Well, maybe they wanted to avoid to synergize it so hard with the effect from the meld. But I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, why not? Just fine. Yeah, that's true. Why is it not just elementals and that's it?
I think it'd be a little bit too strong for standard if it was elementals.
I
I don't think there's a lot of
guess.
synergy with elementals right now, but I don't know.
Hmm. I
There's
don't
there's a
know.
lot of
Make
red elementals
push.
that can just deal a bunch of damage and
No,
stuff. I don't know.
screw it. Push it. Push it
Camel.
harder. Make Titania better. It's fine. You don't need to be making bears.
In
It's
green
weird.
though,
Sure. Why
you want
not?
them to keep pushing green?
They're pushing everything anyways. It doesn't matter.
Oh, like I don't know. Give like blue and black a little spot,
That
like
I
more spots
agree.
to
Give
shine.
all the blue type to shine. Yes, I agree.
Speaking of
Speaking
shining
of blue,
colors,
blue and
Yes.
black or shining colors, yeah. There's the lands.
Yes,
yeah,
the good
We got
lands.
we got
Battlefield
some
Forge,
smack me
Llanowar Waste,
lands.
Underground River, and Brushland. Four
Yes.
lands, and these are the pain lands, the
Yes.
remaining cycle.
Yes. They're
Remaining of the
worth
cycle.
nothing, but they're always good.
They're
You'd be
amazing.
surprised as
They're worth a few dollars,
Brushland
honestly.
and the red green one, which was reprinted recently in the previous set, weren't commonly reprinted. So the white green, the white blue one as well. There were just
Mm,
a few of them that were just they simply refused to reprint, and now they're getting this is like their maybe second to third reprint. So
okay. Fair enough.
All right,
So
just hop on over to Gix
Yeah,
Yawgmoth Praetor. This
super
guy
good.
is a dude that comes out for 1 and 2 black. He's a 3/3, so we already got good stats.
Mm,
Then he's a legendary creature, Phyrexian Praetor. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to one of your opponents, its controller may pay 1 life. If they do, they draw a card. You can pay 7, with that would be 4 colorless and 3 black. You can discard X cards, exile the top X cards of target opponent's library. You may play land cards and cast spells from among cards exiled this way without paying their mana costs.
note that it doesn't
Yes.
say until end of turn.
Yeah.
And note how this card is bonkers. This card is
Yes.
good.
Yes. I
So,
wanna make this my next commander.
disgusting.
some notable things I want to talk about this card is there hasn't been a proper good mono black commander for an aggressive strategy since Drana Liberator of Malakir, which is the one that pumps your creatures when she attacks.
Yeah.
When she deals damage, but she has first strike, so basically, she would pump them before they do damage. But this one would either replace her or be go into that type of deck
Yeah.
because this is just mono black Edric.
Mhm.
Edric, Spymaster of Trust, being like an elf that's blue green for 2 mana, for 3 mana, and being a 2/2 that does this same type of effect except without the pain of life.
Yeah,
And this card incentivizes your opponents to attack each other instead of you. In addition to having a 7 mana ability that does just crazy stuff.
yeah, yeah. Agree with all you said. I think it's very strong, and I'm gonna hate having to fight against it in a commander table because people are just gonna be punching each other instead of killing that guy. So yeah.
Yep, everyone gets greedy and wants to draw cards, and I'm just
Mm-hmm.
mhm.
Yeah, I don't
Yes.
like it. Nope, of course.
Next up, we got one of my favorite cards that just got spoiled. Mishra, Tamer of Magfawa. He
Mm-hmm.
comes down for 3 colorless, 1 black, 1 red, and he's a legendary creature, human artificer. He's a 4/4, and permanents you control have ward. Sacrifice permanent. So much fun. Each artifact in your graveyard has unearth for 1 colorless, 1 black, and 1 red. I
Yep.
really want to make a Necron deck with this and just watch people suffer. It's amazing. It comes down for 5. It's for a 4/4, so it's not terrible. And just having a bunch of permanents that your opponents almost can't target, it just seems fun. Really like a really controlly board. Start
Whoever
blowing up
plays
people's stuff.
wh-
Play
whoever
lyric
plays
next to
this,
that.
Mm.
if whoever plays this, I hope I get to play my mono blue deck against that. Oh, I have to sacrifice a permanent. Okay, I'll just sacrifice my token.
Yep.
Yeah.
Insane.
I
Alejandro, you want that next
I
one?
hate I hate I hate Mishra. I hate everything that it stands for. I hate
Hey,
that the Mishras are generally seem to be a little stronger than Urzas. I don't like being upstaged by
because
Urza.
well,
Nope,
to be
nope,
fair,
nope.
like none of the Mishras compared to Urza Lord High Artificer. So
Fair enough, but I mean
Exactly. You got to
in
give
this
Mishra
set,
Mishra a little bit of
no.
time in the limelight. Like,
Gave
come on.
they gave him a little too much because it's
nah.
fine. It's fine having the commander Mishra be good, but this one is also kind of good. So I
Well,
don't like
yeah. Well,
having
two
two.
two good ones. I
No, no,
mean,
no, no, no.
Urza
The
has
three
two
good
good
ones.
cards. It has, well, yeah, 3, but it is like two like really really good ones. You know?
I want it to be all the good Urzas and all
Nah,
Mishra
nah,
be
nah, 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 nah,
kind of
nah.
bad, and that's
No,
okay.
no,
Yes,
no.
no, it's
Mishra
okay. Fine.
Mishra lost, but he wasn't a punk.
Fair enough. Okay, I'll give you that much. Well, Teferi Temporal Pilgrim. He is a 4 loyalty planeswalker. He costs 3 colorless and 2 blue. He has a static ability. Whenever you draw a card, you put a loyalty counter on Teferi Temporal Pilgrim, which is already ridiculous in blue. For a 0, thank God it costs 0, but it doesn't matter that it costs 0 because you get to draw a card, so it actually says +1. Um, then a -2 is create a 2/2 blue spirit creature token with vigilance, and whenever you draw a card, put a 1/1 counter on this creature, which was kind of ridiculous already. And the -12, which is the part that I love the most. Target opponent chooses a permanent they control and returns it to their owner's hand. Then they shuffle each non-land permanent they control into its owner's library. So yeah, it's kind of insane.
Cyclonic Rift.
Yeah, it's like ridiculous cyclonic rift.
It's a really slow cyclonic rift that lets you draw
Slow?
cards or gives
Slow.
you a really good ass body.
I mean,
That,
I
that
play
needs to
this.
die. That needs to die.
That
It's
needs
like
to
that.
die
You
at this
play that, and
yeah.
if it gets to the next turn, usually, like imagine that in my mono blue deck.
Buddy, if that hits the field, you best believe I'm doing the ulti that turn. That's just gonna happen. I'm just gonna be like, well, I do this. I'm
I
gonna
want to put
draw
the
like
two Teferis in there.
1,000 cards. I'm gonna minus 12. Everyone resets the board,
No,
and the
it's
next
target
turn,
opponent.
I'm just gonna do
Only
the
one
same thing
person.
again. That's it.
Only one person resets the board.
It's fine because I'm just gonna reset the board and kill someone else, and the other person's gonna cry.
But then you play Displacer Kitten and Blink to Fairy to do it again.
Oh, I love your ideas. That's great. I have 2 Displacer Kittens too. Yeah, this Teferi is ridiculous. I don't know what the fuck Wizard was smoking when they made this card. I mean, it's fine because it's kind of shit for standard. It
You
takes
can also
a
just
while.
take extra turns. Same difference. Just win outright.
True, but I would rather have my opponents play their turn, not be able to do anything. So I don't mind.
So you
that.
rather make your opponents
I'd rather just
miserable
win.
instead of just winning.
Like I'd rather
Yes.
just win. Like even though it's gonna take forever, I can just go extra turn. I just get you out of the game.
I'll
extra
just
turn.
torture them for a few turns and win anyways. I mean, I can do both. It's okay. It's just like a turn or more or 2 more. It's fine. I think it's a solid card. Obviously, I want to get one. It says that it costs $20. I hope it doesn't cost $20 when it comes out. But yeah, I definitely want one.
Okay. Next card. Let's actually talk about this uncommon, even though
Yeah,
well,
it's
still
pretty
uncommon.
cool.
Yeah,
But
it's a Mishra though. We got
that's why we have to talk about it.
Yeah.
Mishra Excavation Prodigy, 2 and a red. Legendary creature, human artificer, 2/1 haste. You pay 1 mana and tap him to discard a card and draw a card.
already.
Whenever you
good.
discard 1 or more artifacts cards, add red. This ability triggers only once each turn. Boo! That ability, if that didn't trigger once each turn, this would have been a
It's
cool
just an
red
infinite
mono red
combo on a
discard
stick,
deck.
dude.
That would have been
Oh, yeah,
insane, JP.
but-
Come on.
But come on, how many mono red cards are there that discard cards?
I get it.
Honestly, you know what bothers
It's only
me though,
one or more, so it's like, how much could you abuse this?
bro. The problem is that this is a monocolored card that's gonna be everywhere that can run it and like combo off with it.
Mhm.
Like you just play a freaking like Isocron combo. That's it.
you can find a
you
way.
win.
You can find a way to abuse this. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
That's
there's
why I
too
think
many.
it's good as it is. It's very strong already, and you can combo off and draw your whole deck.
You just discard a
won't be
card,
able-
draw a card until you draw something into like a Jessica's will.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's what I'm saying. Mishra got like all the good cards, all the good effects. It's ridiculous. It's unfair. I don't
I'm
like
pretty
it.
sure. I'm pretty sure someone will just find a way to like get around it and just like blink it or do like a thing. Like
Yeah, I agree.
so, it's not like it matters.
Oh.
So next one we got Hercule, Master Wizard, legendary creature, human wizard advisor. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell this turn, reveal the top 5 cards of your library. For each card type among non-creature spells you cast this turn, you may put a card of that type from among the revealed cards into your hand. Put the rest at the bottom of your library in a random order.
That's at the beginning of the Iron Step.
At the beginning of the step, yeah.
At the beginning of this, oh yeah.
Also, he costs 1 blue, so 3 mana.
It's cute.
It's she, no? Isn't that like their teacher? A Mishra and
Then-
Urza's teacher?
Yep. She's cute then. Okay. Oh.
Solid, cool, man. She's 2/4 that comes down for 3 mana. So I don't know. I enjoy like blue cards that have fun effects that have those kinds of stats like that. It's too good.
Yeah.
So
It incentivizes you to play a lot of different spell types, I guess. So that's cool.
yeah. Actually, I think that fits really well into the like Urza deck in itself too. Like the blue white Urza. You're playing 3
True.
creature types at least. Like you're playing 3 card types because
True. Yeah, you're playing
all the
the
value out of it.
sorcery, instance, and then artifacts.
You're
You're just
obviously gonna have
missing-
creatures and well, it's non-creature types, but still.
And if you do a stacks deck, you're gonna be playing enchantments like stasis and shit like that. So
Exactly.
yeah, I guess it's not that. Yeah,
Like it's not that she's like the most broken thing ever, but it's definitely it just gives you a bunch of value.
and if you make it a commander, it will incentivize you to play different type of cards you maybe wouldn't play necessarily for the sake of value.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's fair. So the other one is the other Urza kid. It's Urza Prince of Krog. It costs 2
True.
colorless. Oh, sorry. A white and a blue for a 2/3. And he has artifacts creature you control get +2/+2. And then for 6 mana, you get to create a token that's a copy of target artifact you control, except it's a 1/1 soldier creature token. A soldier creature in addition to its other types. So the good thing is, if you have infinite mana, you can make infinite artifact tokens of anything you might desire. You want to have a bunch of like mind slavers? That's cool, even though they don't have haste, so they're useless. But you can have other cool artifacts you might want to like copy and get extra copies of. I think it's fine. I generally dislike the fact that a bunch of these Urzas have effects that are geared towards artifact creatures. But
Yeah.
I guess that was part of the the play design for this set because it
I
is a
I do like
war,
it
so they want to
though.
have artifact
But,
creatures fighting against each other.
yeah, but
But
also like
yeah,
he's very much a military leader, so it makes sense.
I get the lore reasons why. I just
But
know that,
Alejandro hates the lore. He doesn't care.
I don't care. I just want to make a strong. I mean, after seeing Lord Artificer, come on.
Yeah.
The bar set so high, and maybe that's their fault for setting up so high. That
Oh
I
yeah,
see these
definitely.
ones, and I'm like, I see the Commander Urs, and I see this one. It's like I understand because again, military leader, it's a fight. So you want to have actual creatures fighting, and this set has a bunch of artifact creatures. So I get it. They can't just be
Also,
pushing broken artifacts. Yeah.
it's a bit harder to design a evenly matched spellslinger style commander decks.
Mhm.
Because imagine blue white Urza like casting a giant draw spell and having to print a red black version to counter it.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Like because drawing cards will always be better than
Better.
than dealing than
Yeah.
just dealing direct damage.
Yeah, you're
The
right.
only
You're right.
damage that matters is the one that points your life to
It's
zero.
sometimes even better than removal at that point.
No, you're right. I guess in terms of yeah, if you want to make it evenly mesh or like to Mishra and just have two commanders or two legendary creatures that could pair well against each other, I guess you have to make it the way that you're making it. So yeah, yeah, I don't fault it. I guess it's cool. It's not a bad card. Like I would stick it in my Urza deck, not with this Urza. He would be in the 99, but he's cool because if I have a mana sink and I can copy like a really good like stacks or like an extra copy of like, I don't know, a Howling Mind or a Winter's Orb and have like 7 Winter's Orb, be like, screw you, what the hell are you gonna do? Like it's kind of cool to have like extra copies of those things, so I guess that's fine.
Bandalas.
Sure, I know, but Bandab's gonna destroy everything regardless. But it's just to make sure that you don't
Bandalas.
destroy my yeah.
So
But I mean,
what I
it's
really
cool.
like though is that all the Urzas synergize really well with the Urza from the Commander deck. So I don't know. I think that's just like a really cool
True.
thing to do. Like if Wizards can just get a lot more of their sets for their like Commander decks to be complemented really well by the set, I think it's a really good way to sell product, and also like it's a product that just incentivize more Commander play. It'd be great. Let's see some
That's
Commander
true.
tournaments.
That's true.
Like
I
people are playing Commander more than they're playing any other format. Might as well.
Yeah.
You say that, but again, Magic 30 kind of said the opposite in a way. But
True.
I
Magic
mean,
is
but
not
if
for you.
Wizards, that's the thing. If Wizards it sits down and just like says, this is what we're playing, it's gonna happen. You know what I mean?
I guess.
Yeah.
Could you cover
The
the
other
next
Urza?
Urza as well? Yeah.
Other
Urza
Urza.
Mini. This is Urza Baby Boy. Urza
Baby
Power
Urza.
Stone Prodigy. He is a 2 colorless and a blue pip for a 1/3. He has Vigilance, and he has 1 colorless and you tap it. Draw a card and discard a card, which is cool because it's the opposite for Mishra because he's discard and draw. And then whenever you discard 1 or more artifacts, create a tap Power Stone token. This ability triggers only 1 each turn. Um, I like it because even though people don't like generally the Power Stone token, I like it because for my stuff, I
At
know
the
I
end of the
can
day, it's blue ramp.
exactly. It's
That's
blue.
okay.
That's why it's
That's
good.
what's dangerous.
That's what's
That's
really good.
dangerous. That's
Yes,
dangerous.
I know,
The one thing I've told a lot of people is the one thing you don't give to blue is ramp.
and that's why I love it. That's why I love it so
And
much.
I proved that point pretty easily when I made my mono blue deck and I started ramping my lands,
Yeah,
and I got out of control pretty like all of a sudden I went like from 4 lands to 7 lands to
yeah,
to 9 lands, and after that it was just out of control.
yeah,
So
Also,
yeah.
want to point
It's
out
true.
that like one of the next like cards that we're not gonna like cover these,
Mm,
right? But like splitting the power stone is just more blue ramp. So
yeah,
there's a blue ramp theme going on, and I like it.
which I love it. I love the Power Stone token. I know people were like dissing on the Karn from last set, but I always found the Power Stone token like a great idea, and I'm glad they actually expanded upon it on this set
which
heavily.
makes like more sense how people theorized how that Karn was supposed to be in this set,
Hmm.
but
Or maybe it was like a prelude to like, because sometimes Wizards does that. Well, they used to do that when it was 3 block sets. But
yeah,
maybe it's trying to do like that
The thing
idea
is,
of like
Karn didn't really belong
teasing you.
in this set though, not in the Brothers War, because Karn didn't come into play until like way after the Brothers War. You know,
True,
so
because
it
of
wouldn't
lore
really make
reasons.
much
Yeah.
sense. Exactly.
it, just mechanic wise,
Mechanic wise is what I'm
Mechanic
saying.
wise,
It's true.
yeah, yeah. Okay, I agree
But
on
maybe it
that.
was giving you a taste. Like, for example, when you see all these Phyrexian them being popping up in every set,
Yeah,
maybe it was like the idea of Wizards kind of like for lore reasons, kind of just setting you up like these mechanics or these ideas or these characters and weaving in stuff like, for example, like the Power Stone thing.
And
So
maybe Karn was originally supposed to go back in time with Teferi. Ooh.
maybe, maybe, who knows? I mean, I like I said, I like it. I know it was kind of unpopular when it came out, but given what we see in this set, I really like the Power Stone token. And I mean, true, you can only cast it for artifacts, but with Urza Lord Artificer, that's just an extra mox. So
Yeah,
I love it.
straight up.
so I want to talk about Ashnod's Harvester. Ashnod
Just
Harvester is a
graveyard hate.
two colorless for a 3/1. Whenever Ashnod Harvester attacks, exile target card from a graveyard, and it has Unearth for 1 and a black. The reason I want to I talk about this is in addition to with Gix Yawgmoth Predator, there might be a mono black, a mono black aggro deck.
There is. It's actually
In
doing really well in the standard meta.
so right now that these are cards that can go in that deck, especially the
It
next card.
fell off because of Meat Hook Massacre for a little while, but
It got banned, no?
yeah, exactly.
So
But then they just went more like just dig more into the aggro theme, and it's really good.
speaking of like the mono black aggro deck, Phyrexian Flesh Gorger is a 7 mana 7/5 menace lifelink ward, pay life equal ward with pay life equal to the Phyrexian Flesh Gorger's power, and has the new mechanic called Prototype. You may cast this spell with different mana cost, color, and size. It keeps its abilities and types, and for you, so you can cast it for 1 black, and it's a 3/3, and it's a black 3/3.
Is this the first time that like Magic
Oh
uses
wait,
size to refer to power and toughness?
Yes, it is the
yes,
first time, which is
but
very
also
interesting that they do that. Yeah.
I have a question for this.
Mhm.
Does you may cast this spell with different mana cost, color, and size?
Mhm.
So it's
So I think all the properties of the card would change.
so it
Essentially
becomes
casting a
a
different
3 mana
target.
3/3.
Yes.
And
Yes,
if you
that's
were to
correct.
activate something that targets
Yes.
mana value 3, it is of mana value 3.
Yes.
At least that's how it reads.
That's how it reads. Yeah,
Let's hope this
because
isn't
that
a
would make it a
companion
black 3/3.
situation.
And
Yeah.
because of the color of the color of the size is also black, I'm assuming that it becomes a black creature.
Yes, definitely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the spell like it has a different
Its
color.
color
You can cast
identity
spell with
is
different-
definitely black. Yeah.
Its color identity is
So
black.
if you weren't able to cast colorless spells for any reason, you can just cast this for like its prototype cost. Essentially.
yes.
Yes.
And again, 3
That's
mana 3/3 lifelink
I think it's a
menace
pretty
with
cool
ward
callback.
is pretty good.
It's like a reverse the void, right? That was the mechanic from a while
Yes,
back.
you're
Yeah.
adding color.
Yeah.
Exactly, which is kind of cool. I dig it. I like the idea of prototype, the idea of like
Oh, I
having
kind
a
of
smaller version of that thing you're gonna cast.
I
Yeah.
kind of caught it. I mean, I guess it's like the creature before it gets touched by Phyrexian Ichor.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
at first you were weak, now we gave you menace, lifelink,
Exactly.
made you a 7/5, and gave you ward.
Yeah.
at
Like
that.
yeah, it's kind of cool. I dig
Phyrex
it.
is so cool, just giving out free upgrades to all of its citizens.
It gives more utility to a card too, because it's like in the early game you can just cast it, it still has really good effects, or like if you have a bunch of mana to sink into it, just cast it later. And a lot of them have really good effects too, so definitely good.
Oh,
And after that, we're getting
So let's talk about Monastery Swift Spear. It's coming
Yes.
back.
Yes.
It's
A
gonna make mono red
wonderful
broken.
mono
That's
red.
it. That's
yes,
all I need to say about it.
mono red's
Yes.
strong now.
Yeah,
this is
it's
gonna
ridiculous. Yeah.
I
It's
played
a strong
against a
card.
mono red like aggro deck earlier. It
Mhm.
was basically a planeswalker deck because they were using Jaya and Chandra to get a bunch of value. Because the Jaya makes Monastery Swift Spears. So now you have Monastery Swift Spear, and then your Jaya can make Monastery Swift Spears, and then Your Chandra is giving you mana to cast more spells. It was actually Chandra dressed to kill, which at the beginning, like a lot of people thought it was kind of me.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's a really good tool in mono red.
Question:
I
Is this
enjoyed watching that deck play.
the only card in the set that has prowess? Because I think that's the only card that has prowess in the set, right?
I think there's another
So
one.
far,
Right?
There's
Well, so
another
far.
one. There's
but
another one
I don't.
that doesn't
Mhm.
have prowess but has prowess.
But that's
Okay.
the thing. What I'm saying, like usually when they stick stuff like this, is because there's other cards that are gonna have prowess. So
Yeah.
why did they add this? Is it to just boost
Honestly,
the standard format?
why not
or-
just finish making the the errata into prowess
True?
for any card that does the ability at that point?
I would
They've
have
already started
assumed.
doing it with a lot of abilities.
I agree. That's why it's kind of weird that they didn't like do that exactly.
Just
Like if
might
this
as
is
well
gonna be
make
the
it
idea.
easy to read. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah. And they also reprinted Blast Zone. You know what Blast Zone is, so we
Yes,
can skip
it's
that one.
amazing. Come on, it's
Mhm.
great. Yeah,
Feldon
Feldon.
Ronam Excavator. 1 red, 2/2 haste, legendary creature, human artificer. Feldon Ronam Excavator can't block, and whenever Feldon is dealt damage, exile that many cards from the top of your library, choose one of them until end of turn, you may play that card.
Mm-hmm.
This is a good card.
Yeah.
I thought it was whenever he deals damage.
Mm-hmm.
No, but
That would
whenever
have been
he is
great.
dealt damage.
Yeah.
I'm not a
So,
huge fan
look.
of that.
So yeah, but there's a lot of like, if you were to build this as a commander, you could run Pyrohemia and always pay one red to deal it and every other creature 1 damage. That gives you an extra card every turn.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
That's just an interesting interaction.
Or you can make him indestructible and just pick the shit out of him,
Yep.
Yeah.
and then just draw your whole deck or do shenanigans with him. So it's cool. It's not as powerful as the first Feldon for sure, but it can be a very complementary card to the other Feldon, or vice versa, whichever you
Yeah.
prefer. Yeah, but it's pretty cool.
So
And
Transfer
next
Prince
card
Crown.
is
It's one of the
yeah.
rares. It's some people thought this was good. I think that it's just a worse Skull Clamp. Like it's
Fair
Yes.
enough.
It's-
Which
yes.
is which is
Which
yeah.
is kind of the point.
It can equip for 1 black, which I think is cool. That there's that I think that it looks cool aesthetically that you could just have the 2 mana or the 1 black. But other than that, there's
I think they
I don't
did
know.
that so you couldn't
Outside of
stick it in
like
any
that.
deck. That's basically it. There's just a way to make sure that you don't stick it in every color or any deck imaginable.
So that it just goes in black.
It just goes
exclusively, I
in
guess.
black. I think they did that on purpose, which
Yeah.
that's the thing that kind of irks me.
I'm-
I don't mind having a worse Skull Clamp. I mind that now I can't stick it in any deck that I wanted.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm actually really I don't maybe not mad but confused I guess
Mhm.
as to they said they were only going to have 1 colored artifact in the set and then there's a bunch of artifacts that in color color identity wise count as being of that color essentially, but they're not of that color, and it just bothered me a little bit, especially with these guys with the
prototypes.
prototype cards.
Technically, you only have the one, technically, but you're correct. They did a lot of shenanigans to introduce a
Yeah.
lot of artifacts that have color identity, which is essentially the same thing in terms of commander, which is obviously what they want to cater to. Let's not kid
Yeah.
ourselves. So, yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, I don't mind the card. I just mind that it's just
Let's
for black.
actually read what the card does because you haven't actually said it. It's
Oh, sure.
Transmogrant's Crown, 2 mana, artifact equipment. It equips creature for gets +2/+0. Whenever equipped creature dies, draw a card. That's the comparison with a Skull Clamp,
Mhm.
and you can equip it for 2 or a black.
Yes.
Yes, sir. So
The
jump
next
into the
card
next one.
is
Soul
Soul
Partition.
Partition, 1 on white. It's an instant. Exile target non-land permanent for as long as that card remains exiled. Its owner may play it. A spell cast by an opponent this way costs 2 more to cast.
So there is a relatively budget deck. I say relatively because I'm not sure about its real world equivalent cost, but at least it's really easy to make. And for example, Magic Arena, because it's just composed of mostly uncommons and commons. It's an enchantment deck, which just has a few enchantments from Kamigawa for creature removal. And has what's this called? There's this saga. I don't know if you guys have already seen it. That gives a creature +1/+1 for every artifact or I'm sorry, yeah, artifact or enchantment that you have on the battlefield. And then you use that to like pump the guy that reduces like the cost of what's it called, the like enchantment spells by one, like auras and enchantments, I think it is. I forget his name. He comes down for two. Um, and I think just giving it some instant speed removal is just kind of what it's missing to be able to react to a lot of the big threats that
Mm.
like are coming in like a lot of the standard decks now. Because even mono red can like save some like beefy creatures to kind of like beat you down.
Yeah.
Even though a lot of like the more long term like decks that can usually go like what's that called? Just go into the late game. Also, kind of concentrate on planeswalkers. So this is really good. Being able to have like a way to remove like a non-land permanent. You can just remove planeswalkers, which is what the deck kind of struggles with because the enchantments that it runs mostly are there to remove artifacts and creatures. So there's very few options to remove enchantments that your opponents play or planeswalkers. So I don't know. I think that's going to be really fun for standard if that like works out.
I think there's another one that does kind of something similar in white. I think it
It
came out.
was it
Right?
was
There's
it
another
was a
one.
creature. He used to come
That's
down
why.
for three. He was a flyer.
Yeah.
So that rotated out, and now we have a version of
This.
that instead of flying
Got it.
has vigilance.
Right. Okay. Gotcha.
And while I think he's great, he's still a 3/3 creature that's really good. But I still feel like there's like a slot or two that you can use for a soul partition for just to be able to get that extra like stuff you can't remove. Like
Yeah.
right now, people will just drop a Liliana and then just screw over your board if you're not going wide with the deck.
No. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. I think it's very good because it's instant. It's 2 mana, and you can react to a lot of the stuff on the board because it's not land permanent. So yeah, it's a
Yeah.
solid card. Definitely.
Especially for standard. I don't know like 100% how to feel about it in Commander. Maybe in CEDH, just like making someone have to pay 2 more mana to get their combo
Yeah.
off. Definitely like.
Helps a lot.
Mhm.
Definitely.
So we got overwhelming remorse. So that's more black removal. We got Thanos.
Hey, wait. Oh, don't just skip over
Really?
overwhelming remorse.
Okay, fine. Go ahead.
It costs
really
one less
good.
to cast for
Yeah.
each creature card in your graveyard, exile target creature or planeswalker at instant speed. It could be
Mhm.
1 mana exile target creature or planeswalker at
Yeah.
instant speed in black. It
Yeah.
has this is like good, but still.
It's the only caveat is creature card. If it was like literally anything, it would have been very broken. As it stands for creature, it all depends on the decks. Like if there's decks that
Creature and
get this.
Planeswalker in standard is really good, and even in Commander,
No,
like
but like
No, I mean the
costing
discount. I
less,
mean the discount. No, the effect
oh,
is
the discount.
amazing.
My bad. Yeah,
I mean
yeah,
the discount, like because we have like stuff like the new Tarmogoyf that
Yeah.
people were like dissing on because it needs creatures in the graveyard to be good, and that's why it doesn't see any play. This one could probably see play because it's very good removal regardless, but it
Yeah.
would depend on making sure that these standard decks have a way to get a lot of creatures in the graveyard pretty quickly.
Liliana.
But there you go.
Everybody discards a card.
There you go.
That's
So
and
that's gonna be
that's
why.
and that's just like one of
But
the
it's in
stronger
your
options.
graveyard.
There's a
I
lot
don't
of
think that's fast enough. This
oh no
if we're
Liliana
like-
alone isn't, but there's like some green black stuff going on that's like focusing
Okay.
on putting stuff in your graveyard. It's actually not terrible.
We'll see. We'll see. But for sure, it's very strong ability. Yeah.
And there's also a lot of spot removals. So if you're running the mono black aggro deck specifically, you're gonna start putting a bunch of creatures on board. People are gonna have to start either exiling them if they don't want to fill up your graveyard, and if they kill them, well, you just get ahead with overwhelming remorse.
Mm-hmm.
So, next card is Thanos the Toymaker, 3 green blue. So 5 mana for a legendary creature human artificer. He is a 3/5. Whenever you cast a beast or bird creature spell, you may copy it, except the copy is an artifact in addition to its other types. This is a nice flavor for card.
It's cute.
You could see
sad
the
it's
joy
not.
in his eyes in comparison to the one from the commander deck where he's like basically all broken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still sad it's not blue, white, or just blue because it doesn't synergize with the other Thanos. Like you can't use it with the other Thanos.
But yeah, but now we have Thanos in white, blue, black, a Thanos in blue, red, and a Thanos in blue, green. So now
So
he
what you're
has
saying
been
is I stick
officially
them all in Joda
5
and make an
colors.
artifact deck.
He has been in
That's-
all 5 colors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This next card is also pretty good.
Mhm.
Tokashia's Welcome, 2 and a white enchantment. Whenever one or more creatures with mana value 3 or less enter the battlefield under your control, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn.
Thank God.
This is like one of the very few cards in like the set in which you'll actually see Urza and Mishra smiling together in the
True.
same frame
True.
at each other.
Yep, that's true. They're happy before everything went down the shitter. Thanks to
Yep.
Mishra. It's all Mishra's fault.
Speaking of
no, it's
shitter,
not. No,
Spe-
it's not, Rengo.
this is like speaking of shitter. This next card, Skitterbeam Battalion, 9 mana for a 4/4 trample haste. When Skitterbeam Battalion enters the battlefield, if you cast it, create 2 tokens that are copies of it. Prototype for 3 red, so 5 mana, and it's a 2/2.
Yeah.
This is a shitter.
Yes.
This is the worst mythic in the set. That's why it's a shitter, by the way.
Mhm. Yeah,
It's
it's terrible.
this as a rare, I fine.
Yeah.
As a
The mythic, it's
mythic,
horrible.
nah.
Yeah.
But as a rare, I think it was really good for
For
standard.
no, for limited, I think it would have been very
Yeah.
powerful. Yeah, I think that's why it's a mythic.
Yes.
Because they knew like if we do these a rare, it's a bulk rare, but it was gonna be that
5 mana
disaster
for
in
3
limited.
bodies, for 3 bodies. And
I don't.
6
I don't want
powers,
bulk
trample haste
mythics
is
either,
pretty
Orengo.
good.
Oh no, I agree. I hate this card too, but I'm just thinking in terms of play design for limited and
Yeah.
draft, which is something that most people don't do anymore. That probably would have been a bomb ass rare. Like that shit, I would have insta picked it to put it on my deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's so horrible.
We got the Stone Brain coming up next. You
Yeah.
can the Stone Brain comes down for 2 mana. It's a legendary artifact. You can pay 2, exile it, and tap it and exile it, just in case. Choose a card name. Search target opponent's graveyard, hand, and library for up to 4 cards with that name, and exile them. That player shuffles, then draws a card for each card exiled from their hand. This way, activate only as a sorcery.
This effect
They
is
tried
pretty
to put the
standard.
thing they tried to put the thing in standard, but they wanted to make it slower and
No,
Very
this is-
slow.
This effect is pretty
artifact.
standard for standard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be good for whatever you need it for.
Yeah.
I would have just preferred a 3 mana black spell over that.
Fair, but being artifact means you can put it in any color. So
Yeah.
if you know
Yeah.
that someone has a very combo centric deck or whatever, a card that you can't deal with, you stick
Yeah.
that in. It has its function.
Next card is Hercule's Final Meditation.
Boo, boo, and
4
his.
blue. So 7 mana. It as long as not your turn, it costs 3 more to cast.
Boo and hiss.
10 mana.
Keep
Return
going.
all non-land permanents to their owner's hands and the turn.
Boo and hiss. Horrible
10
card.
mana and the turn. Yay!
It's fair, Orengo.
And that's the
It's
problem. It's too fair, and
It's too fair.
Too fair. I don't like it. It's too fair. I'd rather you make it like 13 mana and I get to bounce everyone's shit and I'm mines. Like I'd rather just have that. But at 10 mana, I'd be a discontinuity and a worse cyclonic rift. No, son. No, when I first read it, I thought it was amazing. When I reread it, I wanted to break
You're
my
meant to cast it at 13 mana because you cast it to Fairy's Protection behind it, obviously.
No.
Like, this
And
is
then
how
what?
that
And then I
works.
look at you funny, be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
buddy, that's it. That's all I got. That's all I got." No, terrible.
Hey, that's how I've won in other decks. You do that, and people just don't want to play anymore, and that's it. That's how you
No,
win, Orengo. Look
I
at
don't,
it.
I
It's
don't
a
like the
win
stupid.
con.
I don't like the stupid card. No, I don't like it. I bounce my
I'ma
own
beat
things.
you with it.
No,
I'm gonna beat you with it.
I'm gonna get
I'm
very
gonna do
upset.
that,
when
and
I
I'm
see
just
it.
gonna like windfall into,
Oh
into a
god,
Narset.
disgusting!
He's gonna Narset windfall you right after.
Freaking horrible card. I hate it. I
Alright.
hate it so much.
I want to talk
So-
about the art on Go for the Throat because it goddamn.
Okay.
That's great art.
It got
That's cool.
reprinted, and that is freaking amazing.
Yeah.
Fate from
Uh,
history. Each
yeah,
player
actual-
who controls
yeah.
an artifact or enchantment creates a 2/2 green bear token, then destroy all artifacts and enchantments. It is a sorcery that comes down for 4 mana. It wipes out basically the theme of the set, and that's
Mhm.
why I think it's absolutely perfect. And I can't wait to be pestered by green decks with this BS. What's the name of that? Well, there's actually a few cards that do similar things. So Bane of Progress is the other card that I can think of that is really similar for what it does.
Yeah. It's cute. You get to have a little bear.
Yes.
Give everybody bears.
Card that actually might have more eternal impact than a lot of other cards. Funnily enough, common.
Yeah.
Bitter Reunion, 1 in a
Okay.
red enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, you may discard a card. If you do, draw 2 cards.
Mhm.
You can
Insane.
pay 1 mana to sacrifice it, and creatures you control gain haste until end of turn.
Yeah, it's very strong.
Insane.
This card can see is probably going to see Pauper play
I agree.
for the red black reanimation deck, which is funny because I actually have a lot of the cards for it. So, yeah. And next card is Hercule's husband, Drafna, founder of Latnam. 1 and a blue, legendary creature, human artificer advisor. He's a 2/1. He has two abilities. The first one being 1 and a blue, return target artifact you control to its owner's hand. And then the next one is pay 3 mana and tap him, copy target artifact spell you control.
That's a
Give
spicy
me
meatball.
30 copies of that.
Right? That's a spicy meatball
Keep
right
it.
there.
Look at that. Look at that price right there. Do you see that price tag, Orengo?
Yeah, so cheap and good.
$1.59. I can make everybody miserable. Orengo.
Oh yeah, I love this card. It's so good, so tasty, so tasty. There's the best part about this card. It doesn't say once per turn. That's the best part.
Yep.
It just
Yep.
begs to be abused.
It begs to be untapped.
Oh yes, it begs it so hard. I love it. Great.
Horrifying. I love it so
Ah,
much. I just want to
delicious.
copy anything with it.
Oh,
Infinitely.
yeah.
Anything. It doesn't matter what it is. Infinite
Yum.
soul rings. I want.
Yum.
It's fine.
And then it's
Just
like,
eat
oh,
it
you're
up.
doing something about it. Give me a second. I'm gonna protect everything now. So it goes
Yes.
to my hand. Ah, delicious.
Just copy the spell and then just
Yeah.
you just
It's
put
just-
the stuff back in my hand. Play it
It's-
again.
Yep.
This is insane. It doesn't even have to tap for the first ability. That
I
alone is
know.
insane. You can
I
just
know.
let me just tap the thing and do the put it back into my hand. Maybe do it again. Who knows?
Yep.
Fantastic.
It's beautiful. Love it. So
Okay.
let's go ahead.
We got a few uncommons and uncommons, but the
Yeah,
next
it's
rare
fine.
is
Mhm. Urza's Command.
Urza's Command.
Anything relevant?
Urza's
in there?
Command.
No,
I love-
nothing relevant really.
I love Urza's Command because it's the only instant about the commands. But the ability is okay, so we'll read it out. It's an instant. It's a 2 colorless and 2 blue. So you choose 2 modes. It has 4. The 4 modes are creatures you don't control get -2/-0 until end of turn. Create a tap Power Stone token. Create a tapped 0/0 colorless construct artifact creature token with this creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. And you can scry 1 and then draw a card. As far as commands go, I like it. It's not broken. It can save you from death very quickly.
Mhm. At instant speed.
At instant speed, which is the best part because I think the other ones are literally sorcery speed.
Yeah.
Some of
Yeah.
them are a bit stronger than this one for sure. It's
that
fine.
construct is what gets me.
Yes, I agree. I hate that it's tapped. I understand why, but why do you design this for standard? Just make it untapped. It's fine. Like I don't understand why it needs to be tapped. It's okay. Don't be afraid, wizards. Don't be afraid. I like it. I like it. It's very flavorful for Urza. I would probably stick it in my deck if I had the space, although it's not a priority because it's not that great. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
The thing I like is that every time like blue cards that save your ass in this manner and some more white like fun white cards come out, the more opportunities we have to bring blue white control back to standard. And
Yeah.
that prospect makes me want to return to standard if that was feasible.
That's fair. Yeah, true.
So next up, we got In the Trenches. So we got another Anthem. It comes down for 1 colorless, 2 white. It's an enchantment. Creatures you control get +1/+1. You can pay 6 mana, exile target non-land permanent you don't control until In the Trenches leaves the battlefield. Activate only as a sorcery and only once. That and only once.
Ever.
Ever.
That makes me so sad.
Yeah.
Terribly sad. Like if you told me it was once per turn and only once per turn, I'm like, you know what? I'm paying
Fine.
6 mana, it's fine. I'm paying 6 mana and I can only do this once.
Yep.
It's
Stupid.
it's a worse, what's it called? Like the art, like any of those enchantments, like Oblivion Ring enchantments, like
Mhm.
Oblivion Ring effects.
Yeah.
It's an anthem with plus side.
Sure, because it's
Yes.
generally better than a normal anthem, I guess. You're right.
Yeah.
But doing it only once, why? I mean, I
Yeah.
understand why. Because if you have infinite mana, you can just take everything out of existence. I get it. But come on. Why? And it's already sorcery speed too. Why not make it once
What
per
gets
turn?
me, it's a mythic. That's what bothers me.
Mhm.
I understand why
It's
it's
a
a mythic.
mythic
I get
anthem.
because we're going back to the same idea from previous. Like it's a card that you don't want to have it at rare because people are just gonna insta pick it.
Yeah, but I feel like this is still rare
I
material.
feel like we're still not playing enough limited. You know,
Yeah.
like in general.
No, that's true. I don't understand why Wizards keeps making these sets geared towards limited and
I
stuff
mean, I
like
feel
that.
like it's still a segment of their market. They don't like, it's
Is it though?
they shouldn't lose
Yeah,
it.
it is.
It is. It is. It
They
is. It
push it,
is.
I guess. But I mean, to be fair, you're right. Probably at this day and
Like
age,
why lose it? You know what I mean? Like
no, and you're right. Probably more people play limited or draft than they do even modern at this point. Like, there's no
Mhm.
tournaments anymore, so I guess you're
Exactly.
right. You're not wrong in that.
If you're not doing like limited and stuff like tournaments, like some people can. What I like doing sometimes, I'll buy a box,
Yeah,
and it's still my box, but I'll just if no one else is like paying for it, I still want to be able to play with it that way, and at least I had some fun with it before I like
yeah, that's true. That's true.
before I try to get my singles, I guess.
It's
Or
as
either
a
way, just
mythic.
people sometimes just buy boxes because it's cheaper to get them together, get them with friends, because no one
Yeah,
wants to pay that much money for overpriced cardboard. So we rather roll the dice.
that's true. That's true. I agree with JP though. As a mythic, it's kind
A
of
bit.
abhorrent. If I pull this, I'm gonna scream. That's for
Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
Next card, Thran Spider, 3 mana for an artifact creature spider. Reach. When Thran Spider enters the battlefield, you and target opponent each create a tapped Power Stone token. You can pay 7 and look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal an artifact card from among them, put it into your hand, and put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order.
Why can't you
that's an
just play it?
honorary white rare.
I guess so.
That's an honorary white rare, is what that is.
Yeah.
It's fun. You mentioned that because it's like overcosted for the effect.
Yeah,
Yeah. The worst part is it says goes to your hand, not on the field.
Yeah,
Why?
for
Like,
7
at that
mana.
point, just throw it at the field.
Yeah, for 7 mana, it's quite a bit.
Yeah, it's quite a bit. I don't understand why they were afraid. They were definitely afraid. They overcosted it.
maybe just like make it 4 mana and then just like
Yeah, they
make
definitely
make it go
overcosted it.
into the battlefield.
No, and the worst,
Like
the most egregious
not the
part is
effect, but like the creature at least. I don't know.
the most egregious part is that even it's already 7 costs to do the effect.
Exactly.
You get
It
a
does
tapped
absolutely
Power
nothing more.
Stone, and you give an opponent a tapped Power Stone on top of it.
Yeah.
So you can't even like get like your own Power Stone and not give anything to your opponent. You give it your
It's
opponent
an
extra.
honorary white card. I'm telling
No,
you.
it's horrible. Yeah, no, I don't. No,
At least the next card isn't that horrible, which is
true.
Mishra's Command.
Yeah.
X and O red. First sorcery, choose 2, choose target player. They may discard up to X cards, then draw a card for each card discarded this way. This spell deals X damage to target creature. This spell deals X damage to target planeswalker, or target creature gets plus X plus 0 and gains haste until end of turn.
Mhm.
This isn't horrible.
Yeah, it's fine. I wish it was instant, but I understand why it can't be instant. But
It could be. I don't feel like it shouldn't.
I agree. I feel like they all should have been instants, but
For standard, it would have been too strong. I think if that was at instant speed.
Sure, because of the removal aspect, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you get to choose 2. Yeah, no, that's yeah.
yeah.
Next would be Gix's Command, 3 black, sorcery, choose 2. Put 2+1 counters on up to 1 target creature. It gains lifelink until end of turn. Destroy each creature with power 2 or less. Return up to 2 creature cards from your graveyard to your hand, and each opponent sacrifices a creature with the highest power among creatures they control. Not bad.
It's pretty good. You get to like do a board wipe and then destroy the highest thing that they have. So that's pretty solid. Or you get to basically not reanimate, but you get to get 2 creatures after everything got destroyed or whatever. No, what happened at the same time. I'm sorry.
No,
Yeah, true.
so if I'm not mistaken, the
Mhm.
effect resolve when it's a card with multiple effects, when it's
They resolve in the order that they read. No.
yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
Got you. So it is possible to do what he just said. Okay.
but I'm not sure. I don't think it is because it says return to up to 2
Exactly.
creature cards. No, yeah, return up to 2 creature cards from your
Mhm.
graveyard to your hand. It doesn't target. So yes.
Okay.
So you can return the 2 like the things that die when you destroy each creature of power
Yes,
2 or
you are
less.
correct.
Okay, but
That's
that's
going in my commander deck. Now,
pretty cool. I dig
other
it.
than just going into my commander deck, I think this is really good because of like that what you just mentioned right now. Really good for the mid range mono black decks and even mono black
Yeah,
aggro.
I agree.
and
Yeah.
they're already like pretty good decks as it is. The thing is that I think that the slot that would be contending for that would be the 5 color removal from Kamigawa.
Yeah.
Like it's I think it's like the invoke something, or is it the one from the cycle, right?
Yeah.
Um, you know, it's either essentially like a 3 or 4 for one, because
Mm.
you're paying 5 mana and you're getting rid of like a enchantment, creature, I think planeswalker and or artifact.
Yeah.
So it's a potential. It's usually like a 3 for 1 in like most best case scenarios, right?
Mhm.
And then this would be contending with that because they're both at the same cost. The advantage here being that this is only for 2 black, meanwhile the other one is for 1 and 3 black, 1 and 4 black. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Can we take a
Uh,
second to appreciate the art? Because the art is kind of
yes.
beautiful in
It's
all these
insane.
commands, right? All the
It's
commands are really.
insane. Like all of like most of the cards that I've seen with Gix's art on it in any like set look freaking amazing. Look insane, just like super
Yeah.
metal all the time.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's pretty cool. Let's do the
Oh,
Kaila's command.
hold on.
Kayla's command.
Kayla
Yeah.
We
command.
got
Sorry.
we got lazy Ed boy who came in here earlier. I didn't spot him. Who said Blue be
Oh,
Wildin'? Yes,
blue is
Be
okay,
actually
bro.
Wildin'. Blue be Wildin' for real. What the fuck? It's not Wildin'. It's doing fun stuff, but Blue does be Wildin' in like other formats like Commander. I'll tell you that much.
Hi. Thank you for being here, by the way.
Do you have other exile options? Yes. I'm assuming you're referring to like in the trenches. Yes, there are plenty of much better exile
Yeah.
options. May discard. You're talking about the Mishra's command. Yeah, because then you're able to choose like what cards you can discard from your hand.
Which is good. Yeah.
hmm So it's just like really, it's a selective wheel essentially, which
Mm-hmm.
that's always great.
Yeah.
JP can tell you how great that is.
Wheel. Anyways,
Yeah.
Kayla's command: 1 white for a sorcery. Choose 2. Create 2 colorless construct artifact. Create a 2/2 colorless construct artifact creature token. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control against double strike until end of turn. Search your library for a basic plains card, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle. And then you gain 2 life and scry 2. This is the worst one,
Yeah.
of course.
Mhm.
Of course. Yep.
Even then, even if it's the worst one, it's not terrible in standard. But that's
Yeah.
because mono white deck is just one of the top like mono white aggro is just one of the top decks like in the format right now too as well. Like there's
Not
actually
that-
a lot of versatility in the format apparently from what I was kind of going over this week.
Mm-hmm.
But that card might be not that good, but this next card, Orengo,
Right. So
Arcane
tasty.
Proxy.
Arcane Proxy.
Isn't that ironic?
I know.
They're selling you more proxies. First they sell you proxies for Magic 30, and now they're selling you a proxy in the set.
It's great.
Good job,
It's a
Wizards.
7 costed
Flavor.
artifact creature wizard for a 4. It's a 4/3. It has the ability when Arcane Proxy enters the battlefield, if you casted it, exile target instant or sorcery card with mana value less than or equal to Arcane Proxy's power from your graveyard. Copy that card. You may cast that copy without paying for its mana cost, but it has prototype. So you can pay 1 colorless and 2 blue for a 2/1 and thus this ability. Yeah, it's very strong. I wish it had flash, but I know I'm asking for too much.
Yeah.
As it stands, though, like worst case scenario,
And Nala loves this, dude.
right? You can cast anything for 2 mana or less if you pay for the prototype, which is mostly what most people are going to do. But if you do have the mana
Standard-wise.
standard wise, but even in Commander, if you have a big boy spell in the graveyard, you just pay 7 mana, you get a good creature out of it, and then you get to cast something nice from the graveyard. So I like, again, prototype brings a lot of versatility, and this card is very solid. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is like I wouldn't say a better version, but just definitely like a different version of what what's it called? Like what Adventure might have looked like.
Yeah. Yeah.
I enjoy it. Really do.
Yeah.
So we got Clay Champion.
This is speaking of versatility. Yeah, continue.
This guy comes down for X and 4. He's an artifact creature construct. He enters the battlefield with 3+1/+1 counters for each green spent to cast it. When Clay Champion enters the battlefield, choose up to 2 other target creatures you control for each white spent to cast Clay Champion. Put a 1/1 counter on each of them.
So For 4 mana in mono green, this is an 8/8.
Hmm. Which is insane.
Let me repeat that. It's like
Yeah.
for each green
Eight.
green, 4 mana, 8/8
Yeah.
in mono green. That's stupid.
Yeah, that's stupid. The power creep is
Quick,
real.
quick question though, because it has the mana symbols in the card, does it make it just like that color identity, like white green
It is
identity?
a green. It's a Celestia color identity card. That is
Exactly.
correct.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
This again, just going back to standard, I think this is actually really exciting for standard for just like
Mhm.
being able to finish things off. If you're playing white, in green, it's just a really big dude. Like there's no way around it.
Yeah. It's a big dumb creature
I
for four
love it.
mana. Yeah, it's great.
The next card is Portal to Phyrexia, a 9 mana artifact. When Portal to Phyrexia enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices 3 creatures. At the beginning of your upkeep, put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. It's a Phyrexian, in addition to its other types.
It's a stupid, big, dumb artifact, and I love it.
Yep,
Yep.
it's
Stupid,
amazing.
dumb.
It
Stupid, dumb.
looks like a
See,
perfect
this
reanimation
is worth
target.
9 mana.
Exact, right? Thank you. Yes. Definitely.
Not like other things that are that are worth 8 mana for.
This is fun. This is fun and stupid, and I love it.
So up next we got Sahili,
Oh, tasty
my
Sahili.
girl.
Yes.
We got the Filigree Master. She comes down for 4. That's 2, 1 blue, and 1 red.
Mhm.
She's a legendary planeswalker, of course, and she has 3 loyalty counters. You can +1 to her loyalty, and you scry 1 for. You may tap an untapped artifact you control if you do draw a card. Excellent. I love it.
Yep. Great.
Create. You can minus her for 2, and you can create 2 colorless Thopter artifact creature tokens with flying. They gain haste until the end of the turn, so she either protects himself or smacks face if you're not doing anything with your board. It's fantastic. You can -4 her, which is essentially her ultimate, and I like the going back to ultimates that are like +1 and ultimate for something that doesn't break the game if it just is like really freaking good.
Yeah.
Or just like any kind of planeswalker that just ultimates in 2 turns to me is just freaking excellent. She gives you an emblem with artifact creatures you control get +1/+1, and artifact spells cost you 1 less to cast.
You're saying that doesn't break the game?
It's very solid. I love it.
As an emblem,
it's
that's really
just-
stupid.
It's a very strong emblem.
amazing.
And I love that it's just for loyalty. I love it.
Just go up once, go down like once, and that's it.
Or just go
We're
twice up and then go down and then
Oh yeah, but if you go twice up, like you're probably winning. You know? What
Oh
I mean?
yeah, I know. I
Like
love it.
if you can make it to twice up in a commander game with the Sahili, you are insane.
You are insane. And no one like everyone should just quit at that point.
I'm wondering how viable this could be for standard, because I don't know if there's anything that's leaving after Brothers War pops in. I don't think so.
True.
I hope
Yeah.
so. I hope not. But there are a few like cheap removal spells for the beginning of the game that can really help just get to that Sahili and be able to like ult her to just cast a bunch of like cheap like artifacts and just beat face with them essentially.
Yeah.
So that sounds really fun. Going down to the next one. Who's got next on that one?
Urza's Silex. It is a
Yes.
legendary artifact for 3 mana. You get to pay 2 colors and 2 white, which is already kind of abhorrent. It should be 2 blue, but it's okay. You tap it, exile Urza's Silex. Each player chooses 6 lands they control. Destroy all other permanents. Activate it only as a sorcery. When Urza's Silex is put into exile from the graveyard, you may pay 2 colorless. If you do, search your library for a planeswalker card, reveal it, put it to your hand, and then shuffle.
It's from the
John
bottom.
would
Yeah.
be falling in love with this right now, dude.
It's kind of ridiculous.
So it's very flavorful, and I'm surprised they decided to actually do land destruction.
Right? Yeah.
Yep.
It's like incidental land destruction, I guess.
Honestly, though, I think that it's really fair because it still lets
6
you keep
lands.
6 lands.
Yeah,
Like
it's
6
true.
lands is
6 lands is
very
a lot.
fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I'm just saying, like, this is something that, like, if you want to destroy lands, usually you want to pop that off, like, like freaking turn 4. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Next card, my card, my
Go ahead.
okay.
The
Ashnod
desolation of
Flesh-
JP.
Yeah. This is
Ashnod Flesh Mechanist, 1 black, legendary creature, human artificer, death. She has Death Touch. Whenever Ashnod Flesh Mechanist attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, create a tapped Power Stone token. You can pay 5 mana to exile a creature card from your graveyard. Create a tapped 3/3 colorless zombie artifact creature token. And she is a 1/1. I am severely disappointed with this card, but the amount of disappointment is lessened the more I read it.
Okay.
It's still disappointment,
Mm-hmm.
but let's say if you are playing this in Commander, I don't know how this will play in Standard, if it even sees play,
Yeah.
because early game ramp isn't as impactful as actual just plain out impactful cards. So maybe, but let's say turn 1 you play her, turn 2 you play a reassembling skeleton and attack. You
Mhm.
sacrifice the skeleton, make a tapped Power Stone token. Now you have 2 black mana and a Power Stone in turn 2. Next turn, you use that Power Stone and a black to replay the skeleton, attack, and create another Power Stone token. Now you have 2 Power Stones and 3 black mana, and you still have 2 untapped black mana.
Mhm.
Let's
Because
say
Power Stones can activate abilities. They only give you colorless
yes.
mana, right?
Exactly.
They
That's
make
why I
you
like the
colorless
Power
mana and they
Stones.
can activate abilities.
Mm-hmm.
So then you do it again the next turn, and you keep on doing it until you can't no more. This will ramp you very fast
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
every single turn for a very small opportunity cost, depending on what it is. So there's another thing that can work with her is there's a Bloodsoaked Champion. He has
Mhm.
a raid trigger. So when you can hold priority on Ashnod's trigger, because it is a attack trigger, and Bloodsoaked Champion will see that you have attacked, you can pay 1 and a black to return him from the graveyard to play, and again sacrifice him. So
Mm-hmm.
there's 2 cards that can come that can easily do this effect. In addition to other cards that just reanimate themselves that I usually run anyways. This can ramp you pretty hard. The problem is that Power Stones suck. They're good.
I
They
still
are
think
good.
it's a problem that it's a one like it's just a 1/1 death touch. But at the same time, I don't. I think
I feel okay. Okay.
nothing. No,
My my
it
my,
should have
pro-
just been better. Just
my
give it
problem
just a
is
bit
okay.
more
My
ass.
real
Like maybe
problem.
make it a 1/2 or a 1/3
Yeah.
even.
This is my real problem with Ashnod. One, I wanted her to be stronger. Fine.
Mhm.
Let's skip over that. 5 mana to exile a creature card from your graveyard
Mm-hmm.
to make 1/3/3.
Yeah,
Five
Zombie artifact
mana.
creature. Yeah.
one tapped.
There's
Five
no
mana.
good payoff because it's even like it's a 3/3 colorless zombie artifact creature. If you would have at least reanimated like a card from the graveyard, then
Or
now you're
just
cooking. You know what I
exile
mean?
a creature card from or a creature card from any
Yeah,
graveyard,
sure.
Yeah,
or exile a card and make a 3/3. That would have been super strong.
But
But at
I
five,
but are you okay with having a tap 3/3 colorless zombie artifact creature token? Like it would have been better if she would have actually animated something.
done something, yeah, done something. But
honestly,
no,
if you put that effect at 3 mana, I wouldn't be terribly mad about it. It'd just be like
Sure.
it could have been better, but it's like fine. But it's
no,
not
but
because
five
you're
five
not
mana
even
is too
getting a
much.
3/3 for
It's
3
not
either.
a there's no good payoff. That's the problem. If they would have
No,
reanimated like an actual creature card and made like a token zombie token copy of it, now we're
yeah,
like talking, but you're
I
just
think
making a random
yeah,
tapped zombie. What the hell? Like,
yeah.
come on.
yeah,
Like if you're doing so much effort, you should be rewarded with something fun at the end of it. Like with for example, Urza, Lord Artificer. You get to do all this fun broken shit, and then you get extra fun broken shit.
yeah,
At least it should have done the same with Astron. I agree.
We need
It was
another Ashnod card is what we need.
yes. Let's like complain to Wizards and they'll make one in like 5 years.
yeah. But you know
Oh,
what
see,
else? You
You know
lazy
what else they
boys.
have? They
That's
haven't
that's
printed
other
in a
stuff.
while.
you keep
Jape,
saying
oh,
things are
I love
fun.
it. Japes loves astronauts so much he mental gymnastics some positives. That's great.
Yes.
I love this. I love this. That's a great
Okay, next
comment.
card, Diabolic Intent.
Great
Broken
broken card.
reprint. This is amazing. This is gonna
Broken.
break modern. This is gonna be a really good card.
Yes. Really good.
This is a reprint. It's 1 on a black. As an additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice a creature, search your library for a card, put that card into your hand, then shuffle.
It is a sorcery, by the way. It's not
It is a
instant.
sorcery. This is
Yes.
really good. This
Really
is
powerful.
just as a 2 mana tutor. This is
Mhm.
really good.
Tutor, tutor, tutor.
The next card I'm actually kind of interested in.
Hmm.
Yep. I'm
So,
interested for Joda.
Hajar, Loyal Bodyguard. I'm interested because one, he could sacrifice himself, and I like to do shenanigans with that. He's the second card that sacrifices, so like the second legendary that sacrifices in red green. But I love Jolene too much to dismantle her. But this card is legendary tribal in red green, and there's a card called Bard class that can make him cost 0 because it says legendary spells cost green red less.
Mm,
And I just thought of like legendary tribal in red green sounds cool,
Yeah.
but not strong enough. It's just interesting, and his art is like really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Looks
it. It's the art.
imposing. He
It
looks like a
really
like a fighter in D&D. Like when you think about a fighter or a paladin, like that's what I see.
Yeah.
So yeah. Next card, Hall of Taxon.
It creates a power stone. It's a land that creates a power stone, and I think
That's
that's all we
going in
can
my
say
my
about it.
Ursa deck.
And
I dig it.
it's a terrible power stone. It's a power stone for 4 mana, but I guess it's still a repeatable power stone.
It's a
So,
repeatable style. That just says tap 4, create a tap Mike's medallion, whatever in blue.
well,
That's it.
no, it would be what's it called?
Mux
It's gonna make-
Sapphire.
Oh
Sorry.
wait, because you're talking about Urza, but yeah.
Yeah, that's just for Urza. Every card I always talk about is in reference to Urza Lord Artificer. That's the only point. It's like how good this card for my pre-existing deck is going to function. Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of how good this card is,
Yeah.
Harbin Vanguard Aviator. White blue for a 3/2, so 2 mana 3/2 flyer. 2 mana 3/2 flyer, and when it attacks with 5 or more soldiers, creatures you control get +1/+1 in flying.
The soldier theme.
There's a soldier
Man.
sub theme here.
Yes,
which,
there's a soldier
Yes.
sub theme, and it's
Yes.
strong.
Mhm.
It's very strong. This
So
card is
strong.
strong.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't wait for this thing to come out for standard play. It's a shame that I'm
pretty
only
sure-
playing standard in arena because playing this standard in cardboard is actually looking really fun.
Yeah. It's
Pretty
really fun.
sure a friend of ours is gonna make like the human soldier tribal of this.
You mean this guy right here? Nah, but I know who you're referring to.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'd love to see it.
Next card is Kayla's Reconstruction. X white white white. Look at the top 7 cards. It's a sorcery, so look at the top 7 cards of your library. Put
Mhm.
up to X artifacts and/or creature cards with mana value 3 or less from among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest in the bottom of your library in a random order.
Can you feel that? Is the beautiful taste of this card?
It's pretty good.
It to me like I really enjoy it because for a really long time what I've wanted out of a blue white like artifact commander is being able to do this with Dance of the Mans.
Mhm.
So having other ways to do that in ways that I don't have to expose my other artifacts. Just like my whole stacks board gets destroyed, it's in my graveyard. Just bring it back with Kayla's Reconstruction, stacks the board all over again.
Mhm.
No, I mean,
Just
Kayla's
giving the, like,
Reconstruction puts
No.
them from the library.
From the library to
oh, it's
play,
in
not the
library?
graveyard.
Oh my bad, I thought it was a graveyard.
It's still good though because
that
it's
wrong.
like you get to like
It's
pick 'em
amazing though.
from the yeah. But
Yeah,
it's still
no,
solid.
it's just a mass tutor.
Exactly. You just you pay
That's
like
even
4
better.
mana.
That's like even better than I thought it was.
Yeah. You pay 4 mana, you're already golden. Like it's very solid.
So next card, Liberator, Urza's Battlethopter. 3 mana 1/2 flash
Ironic.
flying when you may cast colorless spells
Ironic.
and artifact spells as though they had flash.
So
Whenever you cast a spell, if any amount of mana was cast to a spell greater than Urza's Liberator, like Liberator Urza's Battlethopter power, put a +1 counter on Liberator.
Can we talk about how it's nice to have another colorless commander that's very good? Because this is very good.
This is good.
Very good. And it has Urza in the name, and it has like a weird golden Urza face, so I love it. Love it so much.
The narcissism of this man.
Yes.
The
I know.
narcissism of this man, yes.
And can we also talk about the fact that it's also a Thopter? And I think the last good legendary Thopter was also a very good colorless commander too. So it's kind of solid. Like it's a very solid commander. And even in terms of like put it in a 99 type of situation, it's very solid because it's just another redundant card that gives flash to your artifact spells. So yeah, it's
Yep.
very strong. Yeah.
Oh, I just realized it has flash and flying. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So you can be like, oh, end of turn, cast, and then I cast
Yeah.
everything. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah, fair. It's
Next,
fine. So 1/2. It's okay.
next card being Loran of the Third Path. 2 white, 2/1. Legendary creature, human artificer, vigilance. When Loran of the Third Path enters the battlefield, you destroy up to one target artifact or enchantment. She can tap to you and target opponent each draw a card.
This is a
Wizard.
white
Actually not
card
bad.
that I'm not mad at
Actually not bad.
because
Okay.
it's a Rex Sage with, I would say, two upsides. It's a
Yeah.
vigilance creature,
Sure.
and you can tap it
To draw cards.
to draw a card in white, in mono white, my guy.
Yeah,
get
This
it.
gives
That's
Rex
why this
Sage
isn't
to
so
my
bad.
blue white deck. That's not terrible. Having a creature that just comes in and just like eats something up, and then you can just use it to draw cards when you're most likely outvaluing your opponent anyways.
I think what Wizard is doing, this is a very concerted effort by Wizards to keep pushing these white commanders and having these type of abilities because
Lazy
one
Ed
day
boys got it down.
in the Wizard, like in the Magic the Gathering 40th anniversary, they're gonna give us a commander that's gonna be like one white for a 1/1 and reads tap draw card, and everyone's gonna flip their fucking minds because they just lowered the bar so much for white commanders. And then when they finally give you just one that says tap and draw card with no downside, everyone's gonna lose their minds. It has
To be
to
fair, it's gonna be like pretty strong, I'd say.
I know.
Two
I
white
know.
cards that untap your creatures, like it would
I
actually
know.
be insane.
I know.
Uh,
I think
But
that at this
just-
point, it's just like the same way you can't give blue ramp, you shouldn't give white card draw.
True. I agree. I'm just saying, like, it's always funny because they
It
always have
hurts
to
to
have.
think about it, but
Yeah.
then like I think of all of the times that I've seen like one of our friends like Fish play like green
Catilda?
white, like play his Catilda, yeah, and then he's
Yeah.
drawing an insane amount of cards, making an insane amount of mana with an insane amount of creatures on the battlefield. Like, yeah, I think this is gonna be a really fun one.
I would say this is good only,
And it's a
but
human. It's
but
like I
I
think that's really relevant too.
I say it's good. Like it's a good white card. It's a good legendary card. I won't say it's like the best white legendary card because there's
No,
another
no,
one
no.
that even though we figured out that they kind of changed the casting cost,
I'm
I
not. I'm
think
not
the other
really
one
even
is
thinking about it as like a legendary card.
Yeah.
To me, it's just
No, I
it's just
know.
relevant that it's a better Rex Sage. Like I
True.
don't care that it's legendary or not.
true. Yeah,
But-
it's a Drexel with upside. That's for but
Just-
but being a legendary means you can't have multiples on the field if you're thinking in terms of that for standard.
Yeah.
Just in case, Loran of the Third Path is the woman Feldon falls in love with, and
Aw.
that's why he becomes Feldon of the Third Path.
Lore.
Lore.
Yeah, I assume that because I read the third path. Yeah.
This
I
next
like
card-
that. Like they both have like a dwarf aesthetic to them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But next card, the Stasis Coffin, 3 mana, legendary artifact. You can pay 2 mana, tap it, exile the Stasis Coffin. You gain protection from everything until your next turn.
So good.
Okay,
So
listen,
delicious.
So essentially, Teferi's protection for 5 in standard,
Mhm.
and on top of that, if you are running like your Karn for obviously good reasons, right?
Mhm.
You get to bring this back and do it again to protect yourself from someone just going
Mm.
off or doing stuff.
Yum. Yep, I love this card.
Which is a bit of a niche situation to be in up to a certain point. But it's the fact that you can just look for that kind of answer in a deck like blue white.
Be thankful that it says legendary artifact. Although that's
Yeah.
easy. There's easy ways to abuse that regardless. But yeah.
Speaking of legendary artifacts, the temporal anchor.
Oh yeah. The
So,
big dumb artifact.
This
Yeah.
is the grand
colored.
artifact that was spoiled. The
Yes.
great colored artifact.
Mhm.
I enjoy the fact that the colored artifact was blue. I would have preferred if they gave like a cool like white artifact something fun.
Yeah.
But the temporal anchor comes down for three colorless and 3 blue, so it comes down for 6. It's a legendary artifact. At the beginning of your upkeep, you scry 2. When you choose to put 1 or more cards at the bottom of your library while scrying, exile that many cards from the bottom of your library. During your turn, you may play cards exiled with the temporal anchor. It's just basically more card draw on a stick for your scry, and I think that's beautiful. On top of that, Elminster would love this. I even
Yes.
considered just like trying out Elminster with this, just for
Uh,
like just to see what happens.
friend of mine has Alminster, and I don't think he would run this.
You have to run it. It's like built for
No,
that.
no, I would run it simply because I want to run it, not because it's like amazing, like super valuable card that goes in the deck. I guess.
I guess so.
I think this could work better in something like the Urza deck, in which it can like reduce the cost and stuff like
Mhm.
that. But if your Elminster isn't really focused much on artifacts, I don't think this is a great card for Elminster. I would
guess
just
so.
put it in there because I want to so badly.
The next card is actually, like, the more I think about it, it's actually super strong.
Yes.
This is super, super strong.
Tell me
Mhm.
more. Tell me more about how we get an ultimatum on a stick.
One green, white, and blue. Legendary creature human artificer for a 4/3. Creatures you control have vigilance and can tap for surveil 1. To surveil, you look at the top card of your library and you can decide to put it into your graveyard. Her next ability says 2 green green, white white, blue blue, so 8 mana. You exile her from exile Tokasha Dig Site Mentor from your graveyard. So this is a graveyard ability.
Mhm.
Return any number of target artifact cards with total mana value 10 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate only
commander-
as a sorcery.
The commander, like as a commander, it gives you value no matter where it is. Obviously, not in your command zone because that's already too fucking strong.
You're in blue. You're in blue, white, and green.
Green.
You can run Seedborn Muse. You can
Yeah.
run Drum Bellower. You can run the Drum Bellower is the spirit that untaps all your creatures. Seedborn Muse untaps all your permanents. Murkfiend Liege, which untaps all your creatures and lands, I think.
Mhm.
And if you have at least like 3 creatures, let's say you have her and 2 more, and one of them is like a Seedborn Muse. My turn. I tap all my 3 creatures. Surveil 1, Surveil 1, Surveil 1. Your turn. Surveil 1, Surveil 1, Surveil 1.
Mm-hmm.
Keep on doing that every turn.
Fill your graveyard really quickly.
Fill
and
your
then just
graveyard.
essentially win by just casting an ultimatum.
Yeah.
It's literally the casting cost of an ultimatum.
Yeah.
Do
This
you
is
think that this
fun.
would be like too much if it were
No.
in black, or if it would just like too much to the point where it would probably just become unfun?
No. I feel like this is the perfect colors because it says creatures like the creature ability is a tap ability.
Mm.
You can run
Yeah.
all the tapping shenanigans in those colors.
Yep.
He wouldn't run temp anchor because slightly big brained. Okay.
Oh, saw this over here. Yeah. I mean, it is big brain. I agree,
Yeah.
but at the same time, like sometimes you got to put aside big brain for big dumb fun.
I agree. I
So-
think it's a very solid effect, and you can just make like a big dumb artifact creature deck, which is what I wouldn't want to do
Mhm.
Urza with. But with this though,
With
it's
the,
like
what about
yeah,
with the new
Start
Urza
making
though?
your stuff on.
no,
Like
never.
with the not
and
the, like the other
there's
one, the
this
commander
one
deck
creature
one.
I love.
I hate that one. Yeah.
Oh, it's so
I love
fun!
for
Come on,
this.
man.
It's a 2 mana 1/3 that in your end step you untap an artifact.
Oh, yeah.
and it's a creature, and this is fun with that because you can untap and tap.
And keep doing it
You
exactly.
do so a lot of untapping and tapping effects. You can run Mesmeric Orb in this type of deck.
Yeah.
Oh,
True.
this deck looks fun.
True. Yeah.
It's
Insane.
it's banned self mill.
Yep.
Which is something
It's
because it's not something you
absolutely insane.
generally see in those colors.
Yeah,
So,
that's why it's
Then
fun. That's why
we're
it's
getting like a few I think this is like the second one we've gotten in the past few months that like a spell that like is mono white and reanimates stuff from the graveyard like that.
yeah.
And then green just gives you like spot reanimation or for stuff that just isn't creatures essentially.
yeah.
And then just blue
but,
is blue.
Getting kind of held up on this card. So, Visions of Phyrexia, 2 red enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. At the beginning of your end step, if you didn't play a card from exile this turn, create a tapped Power Stone token.
That should have been for 3 because I'm a little mad that the standard for this kind of effect in red is 4.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. They always do it for 4. At least you get something out of it. So if you didn't play the thing, you at least get something. Most of those
Yeah,
effects
I like
generally
that.
don't give you an extra thing. They usually is you either didn't you cast it or you didn't, and if you didn't cast it, you get to burn someone for 2 damage. So
Yeah.
this one's kind of cool. You get to rapid red.
I do like that it doesn't restrict you to just playing that card though.
Yes. True.
Unlike the other effects that do the same for 4. So maybe that's the reason why they kept that at that cost, because it's still like a better version of that to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Yep.
The next card is actually quite
Very powerful.
impactful. Yeah, Calamity's Wake,
Wake.
1 on a white
Yeah.
for an instant, exile all graveyard, and then players can't cast non-creature spell this turn.
Yep.
Then it's
Mhm.
exiled.
It's almost a silence. Like this thing
It's
is
almost a
insane, dude.
silence. Yeah, it's also
If they make
It's
a
silence
play
in standard.
if they make a playmat with that artwork, I would buy the shit out of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed. Snowlands all the way. Snowlands. Oh man.
I need that. I need that in a playmat. I
Would
need to
look
get that in a
insane.
playmat. I don't know if that exists, but I need to get it.
My
I
wallet.
need it.
My
It's
wallet, it
beautiful.
pains.
Freaking beautiful.
All right.
There's a bunch of
I don't know if
uncommons,
you think that's
basically.
relevant 'cause you did
Yes,
the
but
this
there's one relevant uncommon, which is Obstinate Bailoff.
Go ahead.
2 green for a
Defensive.
4/4. When it enters the battlefield, you gain 4 life. But if a
Mhm.
spell or ability an opponent controls causes you to discard Obstinate Bailoff, put it into the battlefield instead of putting it into your graveyard. So if you keep mentioning Liliana,
Yeah.
if Liliana makes you discard, you can discard this, and that ability is deciding to you for you to discard this. So this goes into play.
That
That's
should have
true.
been
4 life for making you a
blue
4/4.
2/2 flyer, man.
And this used to be like it's a replay,
rare.
right? It
This is
used
a-
to
yeah,
be
this is a reprint.
also a rare too. It used to be like yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't think there's any other
Repair and recharge
uncommon
is
or
really cool
common
art.
that is relevant that I've seen.
They reprinted Disenchant and Epic Confrontation, which is cool, I guess.
Yes.
They're useful.
This has really cool art in the,
Mhm.
the Latin
Uh,
anime.
Oh, we can
Fortified
talk about
is the next,
To,
the next rare.
Tocasia's Dig Site, which is the land that does Surveil, which is also a very strong
Oh, where
land
is
and
that at?
common. It's a little
Where?
lower. So it's a colorless land. You can tap for to act colorless.
Yes.
You can pay
You
for
can
your
tap
surveil.
3 to tap it and Surveil 1. Really good land for commander or even standard, or even
This
pauper,
is actually pretty
right?
good.
Like for anything.
This is actually pretty good. Yeah.
yeah.
Resist Rebuff is actually a fun counter and gives you a little bit more options than just countering
True.
spells. I feel like any counter spell that just does the same effect as like a counter spell or like the standard like 3 mana counter but gives you options is always
Cancel with
nice.
upside. Yes.
Yeah.
Uh,
Beachhead, that's a kind of
That's
weird
the
land we're
soldier
getting.
land.
I hope that
Yeah.
there's like more of those around there because that's
no,
really interesting.
this is like fixing like that cycle that was like there's a green black version for elves of this. There's a red white one for giants.
Or was it goblins?
There's a
the
red
goblins
black
was
one
red
for
black.
goblins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Ooh,
Mhm.
that sounds
Yeah,
fun.
this is just that.
It's just that it's cool though. Like for soldier
Yeah.
decks, it's really good land.
Honestly, I really wish you could just put these all in just like the one set. Just give us more dual lands in like standard, I guess.
Yeah.
And just I don't know, it's just fun. It's fun.
The next card is Painful Quandary. This is a reprint, and this used to be pretty expensive, if I'm not mistaken.
Very expensive, yes.
This is it wasn't that expensive, but it was pretty expensive.
It's insane.
Like $10. Now it's 5. That's like half. 3 black for an enchantment. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, that player loses 5 life unless they discard a card.
Yep.
There's
yeah.
just not a lot to say. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Again.
5 mana, but yeah.
What's it called again? Like freaking Tigrid.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
this is insane in Tigrid.
No, this is a reprint, anyways.
Can you talk about Demolition Field, which is very cool? Very
Yes.
cool.
Yes, it's a fixed Field of Ruins.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I like it.
So Demolition Field is a land that can tap for colorless. You can pay 2 mana and sacrifice it, destroy target non-basic land and opponent controls. That land's controller may search their library for a basic land card, put it into the battlefield, then shuffle. You may search your library for a basic land card, put it into the battlefield, then shuffle.
Gitrog Lang Destruction sounds like such a beautiful thing.
The thing with Field of Ruins, which basically did the same thing, is basically every one of your opponents would benefit from the land from looking for a land.
From getting an extra land essentially.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically. But this one fixes that, so that's pretty good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The next card is Simian Simulacrum. This is the artifact creature ape that Maro teased in his teaser. 3 mana for a 2/1. When Simian Simulacrum enters the battlefield, put 2/+1 counters on target creature you control. For this mana, so 3 mana 4/3 is not bad, or making something else bigger is also not bad. If you make something else bigger and then attack with this, and this dies next turn, you for the following turns you can pay 4 mana, which is it has Unearth for 2 green, and you can bring it back, which is interesting because this I think this is this not the first Unearth card with green in its mana cost.
I have no idea actually.
I have no
Because
idea.
I've seen red, and I know red
It's
was
to
part of the
monkey.
mana costs,
Yeah,
and black.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I haven't
Maybe
seen any
and
red
blue,
first
like
cards.
because Unearth has been a Grixis mechanic since it aired in like Alara.
Hmm.
So this is interesting that this is in green.
Okay.
Uh,
Down here, we got another prototype card. I just like mentioning it because it has prototype. It's kind of fun.
There's also this figure reprint. So.
this figure is actually relevant.
Agree.
Uh, the next rare is Tyrant of Care Ridges for red for a 4/5 flyer creature dragon. When it enters, it deals 4 damage to any target, and it has fire breathing. Fire breathing, for those who don't know, is basically whenever a creature can pay red to get +1/+0.
It's just another Shivan Dragon tribute.
Yep.
That's all it
Except,
is.
except this one's just power crept to the modern standard, and this one's pretty good in limited. Entering
Yeah,
the battlefield,
it
dealing
affects
4
them.
to the face, and then attacking for 4. That's
Mhm.
Even
8
if you don't
damage.
know
That's
four to
more
the
than
face,
necessarily
I'm
half your
dealing
life.
dealing 4 damage to like a creature on the battlefield in limited is
Yeah.
pretty freaking good, especially because the creature that's doing it has evasion.
Yes. Uh,
Still wish we could have just
next,
gotten a decent dragon though. Like I know Magic, like the Wizards always puts dragons in their sets, but I feel like I don't know, they could have just
most
given us
sets,
a good
not every set.
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh, Next card is Siege Veteran. 2 and a white for a creature human soldier 2/2. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1 counter on target creature you control. Whenever a non-token soldier creature you control dies, create a 1/1 color soldier artifact creature token. This is strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is just strong. Yeah.
I love how this pairs up really well with Esper Sentinel.
It also
Oh.
pairs very well with uh,
Metallic
the blue white the blue white soldier dude.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Gotcha.
Yes. Next card.
Teresian
Mindbreak?
Mindbreaker.
Yeah,
It's a
go ahead.
7-costed 6/4. It's an artifact creature Juggernaut. Whenever Teresian Mindbreaker attacks, defending player mills half their deck rounded up. And you can unearth it for a colorless and 3 blue pips. It's cool for mill decks. It costs 7
Yes.
though. It's kind of insane. But you
Yeah,
can
but
always
you
just
just
mill it
unearth it.
and then reanimate it and then swing at someone and mill half their deck.
Yes.
Because at least you have to just attack with it. You don't have to actually hit for damage. So
Exactly.
there's that going for it.
I didn't see this card. This is one. This next card is actually interesting.
Oh,
Mechanized
it's kind of
warfare?
solid. It's solid.
Yeah,
It's
mechanized
solid.
warfare. One
Yeah.
red enchantment. If a red or artifact source you control would deal damage to an opponent or permanent an opponent controls, deals that much damage +1 instead. It's an enchantment version of the already established general red effect, but in a Torbrand deck. This is cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
That would go to
It's
my
in great
Locust
curve
God
with
deck.
Torbrand.
Yeah, goes to my Locust God deck. So I could just Perforos you for 1,000 or Locust God you for 1,000,000.
Yes.
Yeah. It's cool.
Next card is one red sorcery. Choose one. Brothers and deals 3 damage to each creature and each planeswalker, or destroy all artifacts with mana value 3 or less.
It is sorcery speed.
It's a sorcery. It's sorcery speed. This is your typical Anger of the Gods type effect
With upside, I guess.
with upside in this
Mhm.
case.
Yep.
Previous last Anger of the Gods effect was the cycling one.
Hmm.
So this is nice. And next we have a stupid Ursa card.
I love it. I love that art too. I want to get that in a
One
playmat.
with the
That's a playmat worthy
Right?
art.
That's a playmat,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yep,
It's
just
solid.
Urza literally just looking like exactly what you imagine an OG planeswalker to look like an absolute god. Just
Mhm.
watching all of creation and saying, I can mess with all of it.
Yeah. It's like I guess a fair enter the infinite. right?
No,
No,
not really. You
It's a
can you just get
fair
one free spell.
omniscience.
right. Omniscience, that's the
Yeah,
one. It's a fair
fair
omniscience.
omniscience.
It's a fair omniscience. Yeah, you look at the
That's
top card of your library anytime. You may play lands or cast spells at the top of your library once per turn. You may cast a spell from your hand on or the top of your library without paying its mana cost. You can only do it once during each of your turns. So
yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah,
like it.
Thopter mechanic.
It's
We don't
dumb.
have ornithopters in this set, so I don't think it should be good. God damn it.
Yeah.
So Gixian Puppeteer.
Next card being Gixian Puppeteer. Uh, 3 black creature Phyrexian Warlock. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life.
Mm.
When Gixian Puppeteer dies, return another target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield.
That's going into every black mono black deck
This
I have.
this is not
That's
like
it.
4 mana is what bothers me, but like
It's
I
it's
draw
it
a second card
reanimates.
each
It,
turn every
it re,
single turn with Ayada,
yeah.
Yeah.
but
The
4 mana
Tabarax
really
is
bothers me.
insane. This just keeps like reanimating stuff. If you can kill it to reanimate stuff, and you just reanimate itself.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's fantastic. I enjoy
The
it.
next card is the next rare card is stupid.
It's
We
Mythic
true.
got
rare?
the Platoon Dispenser.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
card is strong.
That thing comes down for 5. It's an
5 mana,
artifact
4/6. So it's Platoon Dispenser. 5 mana, 4/6 at artifact creature construct. At the beginning of your end step, if you control 2 or more other creatures, draw a card. But
Simple.
also, you can pay 3 and a white to create a colorless soldier artifact creature token, and it has Unearth for 2 white.
Yes.
This
Yeah.
is good.
It's solid.
A 4/6 body you can unearth for 4 just always sounds good no matter what.
Hmm.
Unearth will exile it at the end step, but it will draw you an extra card when you do it.
Yeah.
Usually.
Hmm.
Uh, Next card is the Fauna Shaman.
Yep.
Fauna Shaman is 1 and a green.
Yes.
It's a reprint,
It's a
just in
reprint, yeah.
case. It's a reprint. 1 and a green. Creature of Shaman. You can pay green and tap and discard a creature card, search your library for a creature card, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle. This effect is always super strong because this is just survival of the fittest on a stick, and survival of the fittest is like a $300 card, maybe more. It's stupid strong. So,
So if you
survival of
catch
the
it
fittest
for
is
$10,
repeatable, but
you do.
this is still really strong.
Hmm.
Next card.
I just do want to talk about the art for Dreams of Steel and Oil. Like the art for that
Oh,
just looks
yes.
amazing.
Yeah.
Look at that. It literally just looks like a nightmare, and I just want to have like 50 copies of it just so I can look at it because it looks pretty. I don't even care
Yeah.
what it does. It's just pretty.
Very pretty.
Death Bloom Ritualist though does some fun
yeah.
stuff if you're running.
Yeah,
like, some
Death Bloom
colors in
Ritualist
there,
is the
you got
next card.
strategies. Yeah. We got that coming down for 3 colorless, 1 black, and 1 green. It's a 3/5 elf warlock. You can tap it for X mana of any one color, where X is the number of creature cards in the graveyard.
Yep.
Fun.
Very strong in Commander. 5 mana hurts, but still.
Yeah.
It's still a dork. You're gonna have more dorks. Like if it's an elf that makes mana, you're running other elves that make mana in your deck.
Yes.
Mhm.
Next rare is an interesting one. Steel Seraph for 6 mana, a 5/4 flyer. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target creature you control gains your choice of flying, vigilance, or lifelink until end of turn. And it's a prototype for 1 white, and it becomes a 3/3. This is an artifact creature, and it's an angel.
Shinji, get in the robot.
I feel like it's one of
Also,
those.
yes, the art looks cool.
Yes, it looks
It's
like
very-
something straight out of Evangelion, and I wanna see like someone proxy this. I wanna see like a friggin' Ava fighting this thing. This thing looks great.
This card is interesting because it's one of the few prototypes I can think of where you would always most likely do the prototype instead of paying the full cost.
Yeah,
because,
you want to do the prototype.
right?
You don't really
Yeah,
care.
you really
You
care
want the
about having a
aggressive
fight
body.
for. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's one of the few ones that I can think of that. Yeah, definitely,
Flying-
you're just gonna go for
flying
the prototype
3/3.
100% of the time.
Mhm.
This
This
is
just
a new
solidifies
card.
like mono white though, like insanely so.
Yeah.
And even the deck that I mentioned earlier with the enchantments,
Hmm.
great because you can still pump the creature. Like you can use the other enchantment to just pump this guy up to like 1 million. It's great.
I have not read this card, so this is the first time I'm reading it. Draconic Destiny. One red red. Enchantment Aura. Enchant creature. Enchant creature gets +1/+1 and has flying and haste. You can pay 1 mana till this creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. It's a dragon in addition to its other types. When enchanted creature dies, return Draconic Destiny to its owner's hand. Why is this a mythic?
I mean,
No idea. I don't want to think about it. Although I don't like, I really, 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 really badly want to just make a Sarkhan into a dragon and then just attach this to him for no reason. Just he's a 4/4 dragon. Let's make him a Shivan dragon now.
yeah, true.
I mean, the next card is worthy of being a mythic.
I agree.
Yes.
It's
The next card is
ridiculous.
Probably that price tag makes sense. $40? Yeah,
Yeah, that sounds about right.
that sounds about right.
Yeah,
Awaken the Woods, X mana and green for so it's an X spell sorcery. Create X 1/1 green forest dryad land creature tokens.
thank God they're affected by summoning sickness, but they always are. But it's nice to put it there in the card so
Yeah,
just to remind you.
just to remind you.
this should have been the token that Titania should have been making.
Yes,
Right.
Like the land
I
should have
agree.
been making,
I
but
agree, especially with that art.
Ooh, Lazy Boy, Awaken the Woods definitely is going in my deck for sure.
he's making the
Jetmare?
Zexara, the
Oh,
X spell creature, the X spell.
Mhm.
Yeah, this card is stupid.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
stupid strong.
Then I don't think there's much to say about this last card. Is like this card is just stupid.
Perennial
there-
Behemoth.
perennial-
Lands
No,
from
no,
your
the Awaken the Woods, but Perennial
no, that's
Behemoth.
it.
Oh.
Yeah, Perennial Behemoth. You may play lands from your graveyard, and it has an Earth for green. It's a 2/7
It's,
artifact creature beast.
That's it. Yeah, it's
That's it.
$15 and it's worth $15 for sure.
I don't think it's worth 15.
Oh, it's pretty solid.
At a
Five-
5 converted mana cost.
At
it's,
5, yeah, at 5,
I get.
like Ramonap Excavator is 3
The thing,
mana.
the thing is, this thing's identity is green, anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I mean, yes, you can ramp up to it, but why not just play Ramonap Excavator instead? Why not?
True.
I think
But why
there's
not
another
have
thing that does
both?
the same thing for 4. Like the Crucible of Worlds is just a better
Why not
substitute for this.
3.
If you're
or
milling
4.
yourself in black, green, like in Gitrog, yes, I
Mhm.
guess. But if
Okay.
it, I put it at $10. I'd do like $10.
I mean, all these things are going to
14.
crash, of course. You got to remember
Yeah.
these are pre-sale prices. Yeah.
No, yeah, but this like I feel like when I talk about like the price right now, it's like the price I would buy it at like ever.
Oh, true.
unless something like broke this card even further.
hmm
Like that's it. Just
It's just nice redundancy in EDH. That's
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
and we got some pretty extended arts we can look at, but
Yeah.
that's it for the spoilers so far. So far, look at this guy. Just
Well, there's
there.
Mishra's Foundry. Did you talk about Mishra's Foundry?
We did.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Mishra's Foundry was.
I keep
one of the
confusing it with the
earlier
other
spoilers.
Mishra
Valid.
building.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
So
Actually, hold on.
What?
Mhm.
What about that that like supposed Tron land that people saw floating around? Was that like real?
those
Th-
are
that's from the command. Look, okay, so that's the bullshit thing that Wizards does, where they don't print that in
they're
a
in the set
commander deck.
boosters.
They're in the exactly the set boosters and the collector boosters
Yeah, and
But they're not in the commander deck.
because
No.
they're commander cards that they're
But they're commander
injected
cards, but they're
in
not in the deck.
exactly. That's why I got very confused. I'm like,
man.
why are they printing this in standard? And I saw the little icon. It's like it's different. Yes, it's a
We talk about
beautiful-
these.
right? Yeah.
Urza
I-
looks
I
really,
need-
really cartoony and like the specific cartoony style that I'm just not a fan of.
Okay.
But he
that's fair.
doesn't look terrible.
I just hate that it's that one that got that treatment instead
Yeah.
of the other one.
Oh yeah. Like
But,
just
you
kind of
know.
like match them up, I guess, because they're like the appropriate match.
Yeah,
like Urza
That's
and-
true. That's true. Yeah.
Mishra.
Because I'm guessing if they did that for the other Urza, then it'd be weird with the other meld card because they wouldn't like fit. So I
Also,
get it.
just for all intents and purposes, what the hell is Sahili holding? It looks like a Silex, but it's not really a Silex.
It's a little Topter, I think. Usually she
Is
has
it?
Topters.
Okay, well, I kind of hope it is because, like, I don't want like everybody in the Magic multiverse just casually walking around with a continent obliterating bowl.
No, because if you look
Like,
at the little blueprint behind her, I think those are like little thopter
Thopter
boop.
things, yeah.
Yeah,
no, yeah, but I think the thing on the like the right though is like it's one of the things she wears. No, like something. No, I don't know. Like
I don't
the
know.
remote control for it on her hand.
Do you guys remember when the last time the artifact sets came out, like Kaladesh and Aether Revolt? Do you remember the boxes, the pre-sale boxes where you could like pop the little cardboard and you
Yes,
can make a little
yes,
topter,
yes.
Yeah,
right? I wish it would do that for this. I don't know they're not gonna do it,
that would be
but it would
insane.
be so nice just be able to like pop a little cardboard and make a little topter. I love those. That was fun.
I am surprised that Queen Kayla bin Krug is the bundle card.
Yes.
I am getting a bundle
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
It's
because
totally worth
I
it.
need one and I
I
want
want to
that
build
art.
her.
Mm-hmm.
I want to build
She's
her.
going in Osgear.
Oh
She's
yeah, I
going in
know
Yeah.
that.
Osgear like a
Yeah.
I
thousand.
know that. But I
Mhm.
want to build her because I don't know. It's just like she just seems like something fun to build. I like it when like the person in the command zone is giving me like card advantage.
Yeah.
Like Osgear like pretty much does that. Like with it when he like sacrifices and does his shit. But I just like wanted to play something. I enjoy commanders under 3 mana so much.
Yeah.
Not under 3 mana, like three or less.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Got some of those
Oh.
Transformers cards, all the fun stuff that Hasbro's like been dishing out.
Pedaling,
Yeah.
basically.
But I think that's all that we got that we had planned for tonight. Do you guys have anything else in mind?
I love that they're making those artifact
Oh wait,
reprints.
that
Those
Ah,
are very
see,
fun.
there we
that
go.
one card.
There
No,
we
no, no,
go.
no. Yes, there's a workshop. So,
Yeah.
but the root path purifier that card is broken.
Lands you control and
Yeah,
lands
true.
in your library are basic. So I'm just gonna
Yeah.
look for my Gaia's Cradle using
Okay.
any ramp spell.
Yes, you can use
Yes.
an evolving wilds and
Mhm.
find it. Yes.
Like I'm just gonna look for like my world tree. I'm gonna look for like my like what's it called, like the infinite turn like combo lands. You get like the 2 lands and then you just toss out the enchantment maybe like the turn before that or the turn after.
And reminder, that card is only for Commander, but again, it's not in the actual deck of Commander. It's on the set boosters and the collector
Yeah.
boosters. So screw
And
you, Wizards.
yeah.
Screw you.
This is the Urza land, just in case.
That's
Urza's
the
workshop.
Urza's workshop, which is
It has-
funny because it's the first time they actually acknowledge, like,
Urza lands is like Urza lands.
exactly. Yes, it's weird. It's a little odd.
Yeah,
It makes
I think
sense.
that like those two things and like size and this are just really fun things that are just kind of like
This one's actually pretty bad.
acknowledged.
I agree. It's
So
not
it has
amazing.
Metalcraft, so you can't even activate it unless you have 3 artifacts, and then you can only
Yeah.
have 1 mana for each Urza land you
You gotta have the fully assembled workshop.
Exactly.
But
I
you need
feel like
artifacts.
I feel
If
like
you-
they
Yeah.
got scared and putting metalwork was a way to like clench that worry. But come on, it's already hard enough in EDH because it's only going to EDH or Legacy to make Tron a thing. So I understand that for colorless,
I don't
this is
think
gonna
it's
go.
really enough to like make a Tron more of a thing, even because like you don't have like a lot of the
No.
zero costed rocks anymore because they got freaking banned.
Exactly. So it
got
only
the
is
Mox
only going to
Opal
go in either flavorful decks or like colorless decks because colorless decks usually have a lot of
It's
the.
obviously going in my flavorful decks. It's just
Sure, exactly.
Like, come
But
on,
like if you
I
have
wanna
like
put the Tron lands
colorless
in my Ace deck.
commanders, you're gonna have a lot of the colorless mana rocks. So you're gonna have metalcraft very easily. But it's kind of stupid. They shouldn't have had metalcraft. Like, come on, Wizards, come on, just it's fine. So you don't have to worry about these things. It's stupid, very silly.
Also, Brothers War is a really fun card for Commander. You just go like two people essentially against each other with
Yeah.
the second effect. I'm a little sad that this saga doesn't have read ahead because this would have been insane with read ahead. It would have been
True.
great.
Yeah.
So, but it still gives you 2 Power Stone tokens, which isn't terrible to have in your mono red deck. It's just a shame that they come in tapped. At the end, it just deals damage. So fun.
I just want to acknowledge the art by Mark Poole depicting the Brothers War and how Urza is the last stage of this Brothers War and
It's
how
like the
beautiful he
last
looks.
man standing, and then just
Yeah.
like the blast right behind him.
Mhm.
Urza's
Just
ruinous
so
blast.
beautiful. I want that as my phone wallpaper. I tried to find like a quality image of it. I couldn't find it, so I'm gonna go to Reddit to see if someone did it because I want textless and just put it on my
Yeah,
phone screen for sure.
looks insane.
Yep, it's beautiful.
We got the full art versions of everything. The
And if you,
old
you scroll
borders with
down, you have
expanders.
all the retro frame artifacts, which is a great selection of artifacts. Really, there's missing a couple.
Lodestone
There's a
Golem looks
couple.
amazing.
There's a
Worm
couple of really
Coil
broken ones that they obviously decided not to put here.
Engine.
Like Michael C. Lathis, for example, Mindslaver. I get it. I understand you can't put all of them, but
Yeah.
they do have a really good selection. I can't
Oh,
deny that.
Mindslaver would have looked insane in this border, man.
Right, and the blueprint one too. It would have been
Mhm.
great.
I'm really excited
Astronaut
about Thorn
Altar, isn't it?
Amethyst because it's hopefully going to drive the price down a little bit.
Oh, it will. All these things are going to crash, which is a great thing. It's a
Yeah.
great thing. to do.
Ramos is a freaking $30 card. Like
Mhm.
this, hopefully this will like mega crash it because Ramos is really good. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, but I think he's like he's a solid $15 card, not $30.
Mhm.
Etherflux
Totally with you.
Reservoir. I'm actually surprised that Etherflux made it in there in the sense that there's like so many other cards, like broken cards they could have printed that I'm surprised that like if those
decided
aren't
this
there,
one.
that their Etherflux is in there, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
When I feel like it's like fairly recent, I guess.
But it's kind of expensive though, right? It's an expensive
Yeah.
card.
It's like
Yeah.
$15.
Oh, okay. I thought it was more expensive. Oh, you're right.
Right. Never mind.
Totally right.
I thought it was actually up in like the 20s or 30s.
It's
No.
15, but it's still 15. This
Yeah.
helps. Yeah. Yeah,
Unwinding
most of these are very good
Flux,
selections.
mm,
I appreciate the
I
Mox
want
Amber
so many
too.
of these like in foil because
Right?
I
Yeah.
run so many. Let me verify. I run
Springleaf Drum.
Mox
I
Amber too.
run,
That's the other one. It's a big
uh,
hit. It's
Oh,
down there.
1, 2,
wow! I didn't see it yet.
Look, a Mox Amber right there.
Ericsson processor. Look at that.
3, 4,
There you go. There's your Mox Amber.
5,
Mystic Forge.
And Mr. Forge is really
6,
solid too. And that artwork,
Yeah.
7,
delicious.
So, like the fire from the inside of the forge actually
9.
complements the entire the entirety of the
Exactly.
frame really well.
Yep.
It's insane.
I
'Cause
run
even the
10 of
Mox
these
Amber with the
cards.
leather background is still
Mhm.
like
So I run 10 of these cards and 9 of them are in Osgear. So I want them in foil.
inspiring statuary. Here's like another Kaladesh card like with the blue background, which I don't know. I don't know how to feel about like the blue backgrounds.
Yeah.
But then you go back to like something like Foundry Inspector with like the reds and the oranges, and it just looks immaculate.
There's also Helm of the Host, which was a little expensive before. Now it's
Yeah.
driving the price down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the defense
Fog
grid.
Defense
That's
Grid.
$9. Holy crap! I didn't know it was $9.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I'm picking that up as soon as possible.
Mhm. Yeah.
Just saying, like this is like a mini finance section. Everything we're just like looking at, you just probably want it.
Yeah.
Cage Sun is fun. It just got reprinted in the Warhammer deck, so it's not like it did much for the price up to a certain degree. So I'm kind of glad it's getting reprinted again because I think it's a card that should stay at like its current price point.
Mhm.
I also really enjoy when I get to pay a mana, like $1 per mana on my cards.
I appreciate these cards, and I appreciate that they printed it in retro art and they printed it in the schematics. So that means you are getting double the amount of these cards, which is great because it's gonna like crash the crap out of these. And yes, Ashnod's Altar for sure.
Looks insane.
Yeah,
Absolutely insane. Oh, there's actually more. Wow.
yeah, that's what I'm
Oh,
saying.
'cause
Those
this
are the
is-
schematics.
Oh wow. Okay,
That's
so
what I'm
it's
saying.
retro bordered schematics on like on the flip side. Wow.
Yeah,
Ashnod's Altar looking insane.
Mhm.
Ashnod's Altar looks insane no matter where you put it.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. I love this idea because again, it's gonna really drive these prices down because you're gonna get twice as many of these cards in boosters. So that's
Yeah.
great. And of course, I'm gonna try to get the schematics ones. Of course.
I need that schematic Mox Amber, man. Look at that.
Right? Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. All these cards are very beautiful. I love the idea. We need more of these wizards. These type
And
of things.
this-
You're
this
never gonna
right
get
here.
those, but
So do we know what these are finally or not?
yes, you're gonna get them in a limited quantity in collector boosters. There's gonna be
Like
like the really
Oh,
good,
the
wow.
schematics versions. The
Mhm.
normal versions are going to be in set
Okay.
boosters.
but that one specifically is gonna be
honestly-
numbered. So
Yeah, like it doesn't bother me that this is a thing because the card is getting printed in like basically the rest of the set, minus obviously
Exactly.
like like the standard set in itself. So it doesn't bother me when they do stuff like this. Having like being able to have a unique version of a cool card.
mhm.
Like yes, everybody has a worm coil engine, but nobody has a worm coil engine like mine.
Exactly. No, I like this idea for the whales and people who want to get like the very extra exclusive version of it. But I'm glad there's a schematic version that doesn't have the numbered
Exactly.
and we have the normal version, which is
Like,
in retro frame.
give me an
Great.
affordable version and give me a collectible version because I
Yeah,
want to be
that's
able to
cool.
play the game, and that way I don't have to
Exactly.
just proxy all of your stuff. You know,
Exactly.
like
I love this idea.
If Wizards of the Coast wants to just like avoid like the whole proxy dilemma, this is the best way to do it. Just keep
Yeah.
the prices of cards, just that aren't like just collectors items, so that we can just do exactly that. Keep it for the whales, keep it for the collectors, up wherever you want price wise, and then just
Yeah.
give something to everybody else. JP had to go off for a second, and this is pretty much the end of the podcast
But
tonight, anyways.
I want to flex a piece of cardboard that costs a fortune, though. I mean, we all want to do that. That's the dream.
Yeah,
But we're too poor for that, so
that
we
is the dream.
we can't do that, buddy. Can't do that. But you get to have a different version of this, so it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Orengo. So I think we can start wrapping this up. Tell me, Orengo, where can the people find you and John? We already know we can Google you, but where else can we find you?
You can always Google me. That's true. You can find me in Cinemas Podcast. I have Spotify, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, a website, just cinemapodcast.com. I have all my written reviews there. I've been seeing a lot of cool stuff. I'm gonna have my my Black Adam review soon, and next week hopefully my Black Panther review too. We'll see how that movie goes. I haven't seen it yet. I'll see it next week. But yeah, you can just find me anywhere. You can just Google me. I haven't been here in a while. I'm glad to be back. I've been a little busy in these last few weeks, but I'm happy to be talking about possibly one of my most anticipated standard sets in a very long time. And I feel like this set hasn't disappointed. There's a lot of value, there's a lot of fun stuff, and a lot of fun artifacts to play with. So yeah, but Christopher, where can the people find you?
Actually, before we talk about where the people can find me,
Go ahead.
I do want to mention I would love it if anyone that's like listening to us or watching us, tune in on November 16th. We're gonna have a very awesome guest. We're gonna have Lewis Stardust here with us.
Yeah.
Let me just remove this over here.
It's gonna be fun.
Well, now we can't see our faces,
Hi.
but yeah. So hopefully that's gonna be a really fun Commander night. We'll get to just play with other content creators, which I think is always a great opportunity. Also, remember, John prints out some amazing shirts. We got our Only Lands shirt over here. Excellent quality, excellent pricing. You just get something fun on it. You want to like just play your mono blue deck and have your Mystic Remora or your Ristic Study out. You can just instead of asking people if they pay the one, you just tell them to read your shirt every time they start their turn, and it's great.
Yeah.
What else? And we also got to remember, my dude, altar sleeves. If you want to make your commander hella spicy, just make it look more unique than even a lot of these like new arts that was just pushing out. Definitely go check out altersleeves.com. Tons of awesome options for everybody to choose from. And if you use our link, you get 10% off your order, which 10% off your order is always great. Discounts, my dude. Save some money.
Just write Cardboard Cave Podcast. I believe it's the code, right? Or is it Cardboard Cave? I think it's Cardboard Cave.
I actually have to double check, but in any case, Linktree is an amazing tool. You can use it. Hey, JP's back there for a second. So, my dude, we were talking about like all the fun stuff that's coming up, our merch, our altar sleeves. After all that, we all know where we can find Orengo, but where can we find you, JP?
Find me here. What about you?
You can also find me here. You can find all of us here.
Quite simple.
But yeah, you can find myself and all of us every night here in the Cardboard Cave podcast. You can sometimes find me on my Twitch doing some fun stuff, and you can always interact with each and every single one of us through our social media, whether it's through our Facebook comments. We are soon to start with our Twitter. Just I gotta get my lazy ass like stop working so much and start working on the podcast. And I went blank for a second, but I hope that everybody has an awesome rest of their night and that we all get to play some with some more cardboard soon, face to face.
Yeah, for sure.
Have a good night, everybody.
Ursa's the best.